Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
Into the area, back onto the ball. Oh, here it is! Oh, here it is! Gives Wolves the lead. Traore! Another Traore! Oh my God! Neves brings it down on the body. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Cause it all that's unbelievable. Charlotinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me, as ever, is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson. We'll be joined from home by Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo as well, plus some more special guests to come between now and kick-off here at the King Power Stadium. What a big occasion we are in for two teams who have had excellent starts to the campaign. Leicester in their best ever Premier League start, actually even better than when they actually won the title a couple of years ago. Wolves, best start to a top flight season since 1979. Hasn't been that many top flight seasons between then and now, but we can definitely say this Wolves team have been getting into the groove in the last couple of weeks, and hopefully there is more to come, but a very stern test of what Wolves are made of today. So we'll get to team news and everything very shortly, but let's go to our pundits who will be watching from home as well. A kind of a good performance last time out. We were all pretty happy. Obviously, I was delighted with the scoreline, but we won't go there just yet. But this is a really interesting one, isn't it, Carl Ikeme? Because Leicester have started the season really strongly, but they're kind of in a situation like we were last year in Europa League matches, and whether fatigue starts to play a part and whether Wolves can take advantage of that today.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think looking at they played Thursday, obviously short turnaround for them, and hopefully Wolves can take advantage of that. I think we've done really well last week, and I really fancy us today. I think we can come here, put a good performance on, and really get at this Leicester side today.
Chris Iwelumo, how are you viewing this battle?
This is very interesting for me. You know, I think we all know that how Leicester go about business. You know, I think they are probably one of the best, if not the best, counter-attack footballing side with the attributes they have in their team. So for me, you know, it's one of them. I think we'll see a lot more of the ball than what we usually do, and it's just about how we use it. But like you say, you have to just have one eye on that back door, really. You know, I think if we can keep things shut, and like you say, you know, the likes of Cody, Bolly, you know, Kilman, they're linking up ever so well. But I just think with the Ayat Nouri on the right, on the left side, and Semedo on the right, very offensive thinking players. So it's about what we can do. Now, I said the exact same thing about Palace, because Palace are very much a counter-attacking side, and we were very clinical when we broke into the middle third and the attacking third, and that it's very much the same. If we can create chances, which with the quality we have, yes, we can. But it's just about being clinical at that point, and then it's an uphill battle for Leicester, because they have to then come out, play the plan B and get themselves. And they've got quality. You know, they have quality. They can get the ball down and play, but they have more success when they sit in and say, "Come on, then break us down," and with the pace they've got, that they can hurt you. So I just think it's one of them. I think we touched on it, didn't we, about Neves, how influential he was in the last match. Very much the same needed for him today. You know, those kind of levels. And then obviously when he brings players in and when he creates for others, it's about what we can do in those wide areas. And like you say, if you give him in the service, he has a quality, he's going to score. But Leicester, for me, are the best team at doing what we do as well. We do very well. They're the best at it, Leicester.
We'll come on to them in a little bit. Richard Stearman, who obviously played for both these clubs, we'll have some conversations about that. And I do want to talk about Cody and Neves in just a minute. But Tomo, on Crystal Palace, arguably the best performance of the season so far. Certainly that first half was blistering from them. And they've had a full week. They've had longer than a full week to kind of rest, recover, which has been not really the usual for them for an awful long time. Do you see that playing any kind of part for this Wolves team, that we saw them get into grips with how they now want to play, and they've had extra time now to keep that going?
Well, it is as well. So look, and also it gives the new players a little bit more time to settle in as well with the squad. So we've had some players come in at the beginning of the season. So look, and recently as well. So Aitneri has just come in. So look, it's going to be interesting to see how they start today, because I agree with what the lads are saying about Leicester. They're a good side. They're a good attacking side. Vardy up front doesn't have massive spells within the game, but he's always a threat. He's always get that ball over the top or in between players, and they've got to be careful about that, because I think that the lads at the back, the three at the back, will have quite a lot of ball, be able to play, but they need to be careful and make sure that they know where Vardy is all the time. Because, say, Leicester will be looking for him with just one direct ball, if they can, just trying to put him into the space. He'll always play on the shoulder. But I think that the time that they had this week to work on things, to go through all the drills that they need to be doing, I think will do no harm at all. I think that, I know we've got the break after this one, but I think that it'll give the players that time to just bed in for me.
Well,
can I just say something, Mikey? Can I just say, it's just what you said there about having the time after that result. We've had basically a week off. As a player, I know for myself, I know Tomo Keane's might be a little bit different being a goalkeeper, but it's better for a player when the games come thick and fast, when you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. You know what I mean? That's just because it's you're having a little massage, you're playing 5-0s. You know what I mean? It's just building, and the body gets through it no matter how thick. I understand there's rest and recovery, but for a player, I used to love that. And I'm not sure about Tomo, but for a goalkeeper, it might be a little bit different, because it doesn't give them time to work on things, because goalkeepers do it like no other. They go away, they've got the little goalkeeping school, they've got the goalkeeping coach there, and then they work on everything. Even if they've had the most perfect game, they still work on their little negatives and weaknesses.
On that point, though, given the fact that we've talked a lot this season about trying to change the slight way that they play and the new players that have come in, it's okay last season because it was the same group, realistically, for 2-3 years. This year, different. So does that make it different to the point you're making? Not taking away from the point.
No, Mikey, you're spot on. You're spot on. We all know how good Nuno is as a coach and his staff and how they implement their ideas to the players. There's been a few new recruits obviously coming in that we are trying to tweak the system a little bit. So that does, and it's real important time. And I know for a fact that Nuno and his staff will have that week drawn out so that they can implement the ideas, the styles, tweak what they need to do so that the players take on board. But like you say, it's easily absorbed on the back of a great result, on the back of on a great performance. So again, it is a perfect week, and you're spot on. You're spot on. That is a chance for Nuno to really put the boys through. If it's like positioning, if it's certain things that they need to work on, and that's what we'll see today. It's just about building on that, but again, not giving the players too much to work on. Just implement those little ideas, those little small tweaks, Michael. But you're spot on, mate.
But also, Loom, on the back of getting some decent results, it's great in training. The atmosphere is great. The sharpness of the players as well. And there's nothing better than getting results, because, as you touched on there again, you want to play games. When you're winning all the time, the confidence is up. You want to play. You want to get into that next game. And again, I think that the week what they've had, and then looking forward to this game, which will be a difficult game. Yeah. But they'll be confident. They'll be confident going into today, because probably the way that they've trained and the spirits will be high after the last results.
Yeah, I think I was just about to make the point that both of you have really made, is that we've had some good results of late. The past 3-4 results have been really good, and I think that's the most important thing going into this week. I personally, I liked the week leading up, and I think you kind of see a bounce in the players' step when it comes to Thursday and Friday. They're not tired and they're not weary. When you're winning, it doesn't really matter. You just kind of keep going with the flow. Like Loom said, the Saturday, Tuesday, they're coming thick and fast. You just end up, you just keep flowing. And we are in good form at the minute. I don't think it's going to be a problem for us at the same time, because the most important thing is that we've had good results and we started off really well. And I think going to this week, everyone will be looking forward to this game, knowing that Leicester played in midweek as well.
Yeah. So look, with the next 4 games that we've got as well, they're going to be difficult. We've got today, so we've got Southampton, we've got Liverpool, we've got Arsenal. So look, so it's a great time to be playing games like that. And while the competencies are, again, it's all about getting results. And these 4 games are going to give them a test.
Well, let's take a look at the lineup that Nuno has selected for this game. Wolves unchanged from that side that started against Crystal Palace and produced a very good performance. And I want to basically get your guys' views on the middle, the spine of that team, really, and especially Connor Cody and Ruben Neves. 92% pass accuracy between the two of them. I think Cody was actually up at 95 for his long range passing, which, I mean, I like to dwell on stats sometimes and maybe too much. Certainly for you guys, Keems is smiling because he knows that that's sometimes the way I go. But those stats tell a story, don't they, of the way that Crystal Palace maybe lined up against Wolves and allowed them space out wide. And I wonder whether, because Leicester play a very similar style to Wolves now, that they're not going to get that opportunity to just spray passes as they did last week.
Well, if you're Brendan Rodgers, right, and you're watching that game last week, Michael, again, you're spot on. You're not going to allow the Wolves players that time and space. No, they'll know our strengths. You know, and if they can nullify that threat, then we really do struggle. So that'll be the information that Brendan will be saying to his players, and it's about them going out. But that's part and parcel of football. You know, every week you've got another team that's coming with a manager, and you think, right, what can we do to nullify the threats? But more managers will say it's all about us. If we're at our game, if we're at the levels, then we should win the game, unless it's some freak result. So yeah, I can't imagine. You know, the thing about it, Connor Cody, no matter how well the opposition press, is always going to have time to play. Neves is the one. You know, if Neves gets on the ball, and even in games where he's tight, he'll still receive it. But it's just that pass that we've seen so many times against Palace, and it's because they dropped off. I believe Neves can do more when he's getting pressed very well. I think he can bring a little bit more to the table because he's got the quality that he can find that space. But that's something that's something I think he's working on, definitely. But against Palace, it shows you if you allow a player with his quality, that time and space, he will hurt you. I can't imagine it being the same today. But like you say, when you think about it, Leicester are the best at just sitting in with the pace they've got. But they've got good footballers in there as well. If we're going to sit back and play counter-attack football against Leicester, they've got the players that can hurt you, get the ball down and do the exact same. So in any match, you've got to go out there and earn the right to play. You've got to go out there and win that battle.
Yeah, I think just to add from that as well, I think we are quite similarly matched. We do play quite similar in many ways, so that's why this game is also interesting. But if they do choose to press Neves, codes and stop it at source, let's say, we've got to do what we've done against Leeds second half, because if they keep coming to pressure, if you find that first pass out, they're in big trouble. All of a sudden, you're looking at attacking their fence, Podence, Neto on the half turn and running at them. So that's why it's so important for Codes and Neves it's not going to happen all the time. But if they do come and press, which I'm not sure they will, and honestly, I don't think that's the way Leicester play. But if they do, that first pass is so important to break them lines.
But like last week, that first half, Semedo for me, well, I think that was his best game he's had since he's come to the club. I know it's only a short time, but how many times did Connor Cody and Neves pick him out in that first half? And that early delivery as well. And that was key to it as well. Because if you're thinking about today, unless they're going to push lads from the midfield area, your Madisons up against the back line, I think Connor Cody's going to have quite a lot of the ball. They just play Vardy up there. So it's going to be difficult for them to actually put pressure on them. As Loom's just saying there, probably the one that will put pressure on is Neves, because he's going to be a little bit further up as well. And they know about his ability of picking that pass out.
We have to think about Vardy as well. Without the ball, Vardy he can nullify and take. He will keep the three of our centre backs very, very busy. You know, and that's without the ball as well. But again, with the passing range that we've got right across the back three, you know, but more so Connor Cody, it's going to be difficult for them. So that's another reason for them to say, right, if we go and it's possible to win it, then we all go together. But like you say, we can't. If Connor Cody's in good possession of the ball, we can't just go willy-nilly, because he has that quality that he can really damage you. And it doesn't matter if Semedo and Aït-Nouri's in space anyway. If they can, like you say, if they can nullify it from source, then we're struggling, because I think the likes of Aït-Nouri and Semedo, they're always open for us. They're always wanting the ball. It's about how often we can get them the ball. And what the two of them were excellent at is when they got it, they made things happen. They were creative. They got the goal. Semedo, how many times did he come in, try and get the shot away, little link-up play? That's what you want to see from him, and hopefully he can open that account.
Well, a big player for Wolves potentially today, and the big news actually in the past couple of days is a new contract for Pedro Neto, the latest to commit his future to the club after the likes of Raul Jimenez, Conor Cody and Max Kilman in recent weeks. Tomo, he is a fascinating player, and we're going to get a bit of an insight into what he was like only a couple of years ago, because we forget a kind of how young he actually is. But he is such an important player in this team now. We've all talked this season about Diogo Jota moving on. It almost seems like Pedro Neto is one of the first names on the team sheet. And for a player of his age, that says an awful lot, doesn't it?
Well, it all comes down to his ability, isn't it? And his confidence that he's got. He's a good player. When he come here to this team, so look, he come here basically to play in the under-23s. But what he has done, he's just excelled at everything that he's done. He's improved. He's built himself up. He's got himself really fit during the lockdown. And look, testimony to him is that he's made sure that he's going to be difficult to leave him out. If you look on that subs bench now, Traore, we spoke about him coming on and should be playing and should be starting. He's keeping him out. He's keeping him out through his performances, the way that he plays. And look, he's not just going forward. He works hard for the team when we're out of the ball as well, out of possession. And again, that's what Nuno wants. That's the kind of player that he wants. But he's very direct. He gets that ball and he's off. He's getting at the back line. He's trying to push them back. He's willing to have a go. He's willing to have a shot. And there's no doubting about his ability. But I just think the way that he's progressed again compliments to Nuno with the way that he's done it.
I have to say, spot on. You know, if you think about what Conor Cody had when he came on after one of the matches and he was praising Neto, he's come back in even better shape, you know, muscle mass. You know, he's taken on board what the manager, what the sports scientists and all that's saying, and we're really seeing the benefit now. You know, I think he's so important to how we go about. You know, I think he's creative. He wants the ball. He's direct. He makes things happen. He creates for others as well, and like you say, he brings goals to the table. So I gave him a man of the match in the last match, and I thought he was outstanding. I know the three of you just thick as thieves gave it to Neves. You know, you've got to stop sitting on the fence and start making decisions for yourself. But yeah, that's just another debate for another day, I feel. But I think he's outstanding, Neto. You know, I think he's like you're saying, he must be an absolute joy to work with, because even when you're out the team and you can speak to Tom or you can speak to Keames, you know, when you're on the fringes and you're doing everything right, it's so frustrating. It's so easily to lose your way. But to come on and make the positive impact and then all of a sudden take that shot, it's fantastic.
Well, let's talk to a man who played a big part in the early years of Pedro Neto's career. Antonio Pereira joins us on Matchday Live Extra. Great to have you with us, Antonio. Thank you for joining us here on Wolves TV. We are discussing the incredible talent that Pedro Neto has become. How old was he when you worked with him, and did you see in him at that time just what a talent he could be?
Good afternoon to you all. First of all, I want to thank you the invitation, and it's a great pleasure to be with you and could talk about Pedro Neto. I started to work with him when he was 15 years old. And he was, at that time, a really talented player. What I saw on him was, at that time, was a boy very committed and passionate about the way he came to every training session and every game. He was really above average at that time.
Antonio, just what you said there. You know, I believe that a lot of players will come to you and they're above average. They have that quality, but you said words there, committed. The way that he absorbed the information, he knew he was good, but the ego can sometimes get in the way of a professional footballer. They believe that they're already the perfect footballer. They don't think they can get better. How was Pedro Neto? Even at that age, was he kind of, did he take constructive criticism very well because he knew that he had so much potential?
Yes, of course. He wanted to learn always. He knew he had to improve some of his maybe the tactical side of the game. It was more him with the ball, but he started to understand that to go to another level, you need to understand better the game too. So you always search for new information, and he absorbed all. I can say that, of course, the offensive moments of the game he preferred most. Okay, so but he knew he had to work his reaction to loss. Okay, and the defensive moment. He wasn't so good at that time, but he wanted to know how to do it and how to help the team. Talking about the ego at that time and the way he faced it all, because it was a big change at that age. Okay, he was a normal boy who loves to play football, and he was 15 years old. And then at 16 years old, he made a professional contract. So it was a big change to him. But I remember one episode that he came to me and he said, I look at him at the training session and he wasn't the same. Okay, he was a little bit sad and a little bit worried too. And I wait to the end of the training session and I asked him, what's happening? And he told me, oh, some guys are saying that I'm not humble anymore, but I'm not. I'm really the same guy. So I told him, you are the same, so it's not any problem. You are more focused than the others. You want more than the others, so continue to as you've done till now. Okay.
Antonio, sorry. Antonio, just obviously hearing from his character after pitch, which I've been most impressed by just from talking to him after a few of the Matchday lives. But where do you think he can improve on the pitch, and what more can he add to his game to improve his game for himself and Wolves?
Now, I can say he must score more goals. Okay, he has many chances, and he is always searching. But I think he can improve his. I don't know how to say to be more efficient.
His end product.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
The tactical side of the game, I think that the 2 years in Lazio helped him to improve that side of the game. Now he's clearly a more complete player. Okay, but I think he can. I see lots of things that I saw when he was 15 and 16 years old. But now clearly he's more strong, more faster, more explosive. Okay, and I think really if he scores more goals, he can go to another dimension too.
How much do people talk about him in Portugal? He's obviously got a call up to the senior squad for the first time this week. Are people aware of just what he's been achieving here in England?
I think yes, of course. 4 or 5 years ago, only in Braga we knew Pedro Neto. At that time, we, of course, the national coaches asked us, which players do you have that are on a good level to come to us? And we always said, Pedro Neto is okay. Pedro Neto is okay. He can go. He's ready. But when he was under 16, they never called him. When under 17, he was called at the first time, and they never let him go again. Okay, so now he's more, of course, he's more known in Portugal, not only in Braga. But when you invited me to talk about Pedro Neto, I thought about what can I say different to tell them, and I thought about, okay, I think the next step to his career is a call to our national team. But our national coach may have heard my thoughts and he anticipated me, so I don't have that card now. But I'm really happy for him because I know it's the first time, but it's the first time of many.
Just one more question that's a bit off Pedro Neto. I'm just interested in Nuno's reputation in Portugal as well, because we're raving about him in Wolverhampton at the minute and in England at the minute. But what's Nuno's reputation as a coach as well in Portugal?
Nuno is clearly one of the best coaches, one of the best Portuguese coaches at this moment. Okay, he made his way inside Portugal, and I think he deserves to what he's living now. I think he is doing a great job at Wolves. I think maybe this season they will battle more for the Champions League, and I hope so too. But Nuno in Portugal is a good reputation here. Yes.
Just finally, Antonio, we've talked about the confidence and the character of Pedro Neto. One of the things that he always says to us is that he wants to be the best. He potentially the best in the world, and I love that about it, because you say that it's not an arrogant thing, because he's prepared to work for it. You've seen him all the way through now over the last few years. Do you think he can get there? Is he of that level that he could be amongst the very best players?
Many can say that. Many players can say that, but I believe more in Pedro Neto, because when he was 15 and 16 years old, he tells us the same. He wanted to be the best. Okay, so I really think that in the next 2-3 years he can be in top 10. Okay, I really believe that, because he's really strong mentality. He's really focused, and he's not only saying that. Okay, he works for that, and I believe more in him. Okay.
Well, we thank you for the part that you played in the player that we're now enjoying watching. Antonio Pereira, thank you very much for joining us on Matchday Live Extra.
Thank you again.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Antonio Pereira on Wolves TV. Tomo, I mentioned this confidence. There is a fine line, isn't there, between confidence and arrogance sometimes. And the reason why we talk about it with Pedro Neto is because there is still a humility there, that he says he has to keep working hard. He has to keep progressing. He knows it. But I like it that he says, I want to be the best player in the world. That's a strong statement to make. If you're prepared to back it up, go for it.
Exactly. So look, and so if you're not thinking about improving and getting better and being the best that you can, then there's a problem. And also as well, you've got to have some kind of arrogance about you. If you're going to be a top player, you've got to have something about you. And he's definitely got that. He's got a hunger, what you can see, a desire to win. He wants to be the best that he can. And again, people can say it's arrogant, but you've got to have something. You've got to have something. You've got to have an edge to your game if you're going to be the best player. And look, there's no doubt about it. He's got the ability. He's got pace. He's got strength now that he's built himself up with. He's got confidence with his own ability. Why not? Why not be the best that you can? There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I think also just what was fascinating listening to his old coach is that him as a person, because I know I've only met him briefly a few times, but he just seems like a great guy and a great character and a lovable guy, which is also so interesting, because the way he's improved over the last 12 months, you can obviously see that's his character from when he was 15, and it's brilliant to see he's improving all the time. Like we've all said, that he's immovable at the minute. He's one of the first on the team sheet, and especially when you're talking about the top four players. our front four player, sorry. He's one of the first ones down. So it's just interesting to hear his old coach talk about his character, because when he's come on here, I love speaking to him. He's always smiling, but the determination that he has as well. And I just wonder, if you look at the Wolves squad as well, how much research do they do into their players? Because we over the past 2 or 3 seasons, we've brought these sort of characters into the club all the time, with talent, but also hard work and good characteristics for the squad. And I think it's a testament to Pedro himself, his family as well, and obviously his upbringing. But it's also a testament to Wolves and what they're bringing in and the research. I'm wondering if they spoke to Antonio before they brought him in. I'm sure someone has, to see what sort of character he is.
I think recruitment's been one of the biggest pluses since Nuno's been here, hasn't it? Recruitment, with the way that he's brought people in. But you two lads, you've played with some top players in the top flights as well. They've got to have something about them, haven't they? They've got to have some kind of arrogance to them to make them who they are.
Look, arrogance and confidence, they come hand in hand. You know, you think about it, and I'll put it to you now, you know, you look at Cristiano Ronaldo when he was his early years at Man United. Would you say that he was going to go on and be one of the best players in the world from an absolute ruler over a decade, 15 years? You know, you have to have that desire, that hunger, but you know that you're not the finished article. You're always learning. I read an article that Cristiano Ronaldo saying he can still improve. He's still looking at weaknesses. And it's quite interesting, because Pedro Neto seems to have that same passion, that same desire. He's got all the attributes. Okay, maybe the height. He's not 6'3", the same as Ronaldo is. But again, it's one of those things that he has that goal, and you have to have a goal to get anywhere in football. So it's quite interesting hearing that Antonio believes in the next 3-4 years, massive 3-4 years, he can get into the top 10. And once he gets there, you kick on again.
Well, hopefully he will do. We'll no doubt talk a lot more about Pedro Neto as the season and the years hopefully progress. Let's focus back on the game today. We can speak to a man who played for both clubs involved, the former Wolves defender, Richard Stearman. Steers, great to have you back with us on Matchday Live Extra.
Hi, Steers, you're right.
You okay, fellas?
Yes, Steers.
Oh, we've got you down as giving us the impartial view today. What do you make of this battle between two of your old clubs?
Yeah, I mean, it proves to be an interesting fixture, doesn't it? Both teams are sort of vying for places near the top of the table. Both could nick right into the Champions League spots with a result. So both on a good bit of form. Leicester won the last 5, including European ties, and Wolves unbeaten in 4, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, 2 teams in good form going for top of the table. It's going to be a really interesting one I'm looking forward to.
Steele's right. I've got to ask you this, right? So both teams, they love to play counter-attack football. Now, Leicester are at home. Wolves are going to come to town. We've seen what happened to Palace against Wolves when they set off. Brendan Rodgers surely can't just say, right, we're gonna play counter-attack. They've got to get in our face and make us earn the right to play that the way that we want. I
think so. Both teams enjoy the counter-attacking stuff, don't they? So I think Leicester being at home, the onus is on them to go out, go and play, be a little bit more expansive. But Wolves are so dangerous on the counter-attack. It's going to be interesting to see how Brendan sets them up. In saying that as well, when Jamie Vardy's on the pitch, I think Wolves have got to be careful with him. Certainly when him and Maddison link up, it's a dangerous partnership, and one I've seen up close a few times, and it's very hard to stop.
You think, Steers, that playing in Europe in the week is going to affect Leicester's fitness levels in this game, do you think, or do you think it's going to be no problem to them?
I mean, they're experienced enough now to, they're used to that sort of midweek fixture, weekend fixture, but it's hard not to be affected. Boys will be a little bit tired, having to go again. It'll be interesting to see how they start and how they finish. So it's hard to say that they won't be affected, but they're experienced enough to maybe get through unscathed.
Steers, I'm going to put you on the spot here now. Who do you really want to win, mate? Because I've spent many a game on the battlefield of you, mate.
Listen,
are you really bipartisan?
I think you know where my loyalty lies. If I want to be invited back on the show at any point, I think I've got to go.
It's all love, Steve. It's all love, Steve. It's all love.
Yeah, cheers,
Steve,
mate.
from a tactical point of view, Leicester's kind of two number 10s are more midfielders really in Pratt and Maddison compared to Wolves two. As a defender, who picks those two up? Because we saw at West Ham's front three went right on the Wolves back three and caused them problems. So are you looking for the two in midfield to get them, or is that going to be down to Kilman and Bolly to make sure that those two are not dictating everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, Mikey, because as soon as a centre-half steps out of that back three shape, you're leaving spaces down the sides for Vardy to exploit. And with the creativity and the ability that certainly James Maddison has, he has that ability to find Vardy in those gaps. And, it's possibly Conor Cody's only weakness potentially is that yard of pace that Jamie Vardy could exploit. So I'd be more inclined to keep Bolly and Kilman, keep them right in next to me, keep that back three tight, and ask the defensive midfield to sort of pick up those players.
Okay, it's prediction time, everybody. And may I remind you, Steers won't know this, but he's going to find out very quickly.
I'm sure you broadcasted it,
that
mate,
it's currently Mikey 4, Pundits 0. So, Richard Stearman, you can go first. What are you predicting today? Bear in mind, Keems has already set you up to make sure
he's put it right on my toes. He's put it right on my toes. I am going to go with 2-1 Wolves.
Okay. Carl Ikeme.
I don't know if I'm playing, I'm not playing this game anymore.
He's refusing. Just be a refusal there.
No, I'm not playing. Can I not play?
No, you have to play.
I'm going to go the same, 2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves. Looms?
I was thinking the same, but since I'll have to go 3-1 then, Wolves, but I was going to go 2-1.
Yeah.
Like you say, yeah.
Well, I was going to go 2-1 as well, but I'll give you Looms. I'll go 3-1.
Oh, you've all gone for quite big score lines.
Oh, Mikey, come on, just put it out there.
Here we go.
Just mute yourself, mate.
Has he got a nil in it? Has he got a nil in it by any chance?
1-0 is my prediction. Thank you for Carl Ikeme for leaving it free this week. And I will gladly take that opportunity. Steers, thank you very much, mate, for joining.
No matter any time, guys.
Take it easy.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, good to see you. Cheers, fellas. Have a good one.
Thank you to Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo as well. More from them at half-time. More from Tomo, of course, during the match as we get ready. We're not far away from the teams coming out here at the King Power Stadium. We'll take a very quick break and then we'll be back with you on Matchday Live Extra from Wolves TV.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
This season, the Old Goal Club and Wolves TV Matchday Live are powered by Blythe Group, an industry-leading construction company and family-run business since 1982, driving investment and infrastructure across the UK. Blythe Group's mission is to provide an unrivaled service based on innovative, bespoke building solutions and comprehensive customer support. If you're a skilled tradesperson and you want to join the team that powers our team, contact their bases in Wolverhampton, Manchester or Maidenhead via theblythegroup.co.uk. Blythe Group, big enough to deliver, small enough to care. The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, powered by Blythe Group, available now.
Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
So welcome back to the King Power Stadium here in the East Midlands. There is a fair amount of cloud and maybe a little bit of fog above us that's just billowing over the top of the stand on the far side, hovering around the floodlights that are on. There are poppies all the way around this stadium, and on the far side a giant flag that has the markings of the Royal British Legion and says every poppy counts. Wolves making their way out first. Leicester will join them. It is, of course, Remembrance Weekend, and we will bring you all the sounds of everything that happens there. But East meets West in a Midlands derby of two sides enjoying excellent starts to the season. Leicester's 5 wins from their opening 7 and 15 points is a better beginning than the year they won the Premier League. Wolves, only 2 points behind, are enjoying their best start to a top-flight season since 1979. No side has kept more clean sheets than Nuno's team this campaign. Whilst going into the weekend, only Spurs had outscored the Foxes so far, though both meetings last season were goalless. And history is not on the old gold side. The last time Wolves won away at Leicester in the top division, Frank Monroe and Derek Dugan were the scorers. Benny Hill was number 1 in the charts. Richard Nixon was the US president. The UK had just 3 TV channels and had only just introduced pounds and pennies instead of shillings. And Andy Thompson was just coming towards the end of his career.
Surprise, surprise, eh? He can't help but have a dig, can he?
1971 is the date that we are talking about.
I was 4, mate.
It's a very long time ago.
A very long time ago.
Wolves have come here in recent seasons. Last season's 0-0 draw on the opening weekend of the campaign was really marred by a VAR decision that cost Leander Dendoncker a goal. Season before,
should have beaten twice last year.
Well, indeed. Willie Bolly had one ruled out in the home game that could have put Wolves right in amongst the mix for the Champions League places, but that's been and gone. 2 years ago, of course, Matt Doherty scored an own goal on the way to a 2-0 defeat that saw Jamie Vardy sent off. Means Vardy has more sendings off against Wolves than he actually does goals. 7 appearances, 1 sending off, 0 goals. Tomo has his fingers crossed.
Yeah, can but hope, yeah. But I say it should be an interesting game today. So look, 2 good teams, very similar styles at the play. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the upper hand in the game.
Well, they've gone through the coin toss. Both sets of players are gathered around the centre circle, and we'll let you listen in to what's happening here at the King Power Stadium as we pause to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Sacrifice themselves to secure and protect our freedom, and those who continue to fight on the front lines. The sounding of the last post will signal a period of silence for us to remember the fallen.
always impeccably observed. The silence that rung around this King Power Stadium, ever more poignant of the year that we have had, and those who are no longer with us. It is always the time of year when we rightly pay tribute to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So we are nearly ready to go then on a big occasion, and hopefully a big performance from this Wolverhampton Wanderers team, who have been in amongst it. This Leicester side are experienced. It's only a couple of years since they won the Premier League themselves. They're a team who are slightly in transition too. But these are two teams who are well matched and hopefully will be able to produce something special this afternoon. Wolves in gold shirts with black sleeves, black shorts and gold socks against Leicester, all in blue. Pedro Neto stood over the ball. Wolves playing from left to right as we look at it first half. And everybody will take a knee first of all, as the important messages continue to be sent around to all those watching around the world. And we're underway at the King Power Stadium. Wolves defending the family stand away to our left-hand side, the corner of which is normally where the away supporters would be packed in impressive travelling numbers. It's not a huge journey to make across the Midlands, as Pedro Neto immediately looking to get in down the right-hand side. Strong start here from Neto. Right-hand side of the penalty area, attempted pullback cut out by Johnny Evans. And Leicester able to bring the ball clear.
Yeah, but already what a great start from Neto down this right-hand side, linking up with Jimenez. And that's what he needed to do.
Volley fours, the ball has hit Cody, who goes strongly in on a challenge on Tielemans. Wolves with Patricio in goal, Bolly, Cody and Kilman the back three, Semedo and Aït-Nouri the wing backs, Dendoncker and Neves in midfield, Podence, Neto and Jimenez the attacking three. Leicester with Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Wesley Fofana, Johnny Evans and Christian Fuchs their back three, James Justin and Luke Thomas the wing backs, Nampalys Mendy and Yuri Tielemans in midfield, Dennis Pratt, James Maddison both supporting Jamie Vardy up top. Fuchs' ball is deflected into the middle of the Wolves half. Aït-Nouri with an early one looking for Jimenez, headed away by Evans. Cody will send it back deep into the Leicester half. Evans nodding it down for Tielemans, who will play a 1-2 with Fofana and look to get Leicester moving.
Yeah, so already you can see Vardy just playing right up on that top line. He's actually gone on Connor Cody at the minute, so he's staying central. But I think it's going to be Pratt and Maddison who are the two that seem to be pushing up a little bit more to help Vardy.
Evans for Fuchs over the halfway line to the midway point of the Wolves half. Wide for Thomas down the line. Back to Fuchs. He'll go infield to Mendy. Into Fofana, right-hand side of the centre circle. Looking to sweep it out low to Justin on the right-hand side. Up against Daniel Podence, who's tracked him well. Ball will go infield to Tielemans. Back wide again to Justin. He had Pratt coming across to him. Maddison taking over. Wide again. Tielemans. Infield for Evans. Now to Christian Fuchs as Leicester look to move it over to the left-hand side. A 1-2 with Mendy. Fuchs blocked off by Neto. Trying to go infield to Tielemans, who was closed down quickly by Neves. So ball went backwards to Evans, who finds Fofana. Just to the right of the centre circle. Low ball across to Nampalys Mendy. Wide out to the left-hand side to Fuchs. Forwards to Maddison. Thomas closed down by Semedo, whose clearance hits Mendy. Leicester have it back again. Maddison takes a tumble under a challenge of Semedo that was a little bit clumsy.
Yeah, he's clumsy more than anything. Maddison just got his body in between him and the ball. So he knew the challenge was coming. A bit theatrical with his dive in the end, but just need to be careful about this. Wolves with Maddison, with the quality that he's got on set plays.
Yeah, set piece will come into the penalty area. It's only a couple of yards in from the touchline on the left-hand side for Leicester. Wolves' defensive line just inside the penalty area and dropping now. Neto missed it as the first man, but it has bounced wide and he gets a second chance to clear, plays it off Maddison for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, so I'm glad that when I called that, he messed it up altogether. Never really got it up, Maddison. So plenty of bodies there, but so that's one thing that you don't want to give away in this game is set plays.
Rich Frampton hoping for a 2-0 Wolves win. Lisa down in Aylesbury listening, willing on a Wolves victory. Christina in Wisconsin has gone for 2-1 Wolves. Here is Tillemans to Fofana. Low across the centre circle for Mendy. Neto thought he could steal it. Neves has done. And Wolves continuing on. Or Neves' pass went straight to Fofana. If he could have lifted it through, Podence would have been clean on the Leicester goal. In the meantime, Leicester on the attack. Kilman with a header away to his left-hand side. And Nori has trying to save a corner, ran out of room and has gifted a corner to Leicester.
Yeah, I think Nori was waiting for the challenge coming from Justin, wasn't he? He just backed off him and he's letting the ball run and he kept leaving it and it's ended up going out of play. But yeah, good chance that wasn't it for Neves. Could have just put it into that space for Podence.
4.5, nearly 5 minutes played at the King Power Stadium.
Just looking already about Maddison, his position when Leicester have got the ball. He's just sitting just in that little bit of space just between the defenders and the midfield. Just need to be careful about him.
He's got support on that right-hand side, but he will swing the cross in dangerously. It's headed away by Bolly from the edge of the 6-yard box. Mendy first to the loose ball. Back to Justin, who will try and switch it to Fuchs here on the left, just out by the corner of the penalty area, closed down by Neto. Leicester throw deep inside the Wolves' half.
Yeah, good work from him, wasn't it? And again, we all know about his ability going forward. But that's what he does offer to this team now.
Thomas with the throw from just ahead of being level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area. He had Pratt coming short. Mendy is there as well. Maddison making a movement for him. He'll go to Maddison, back to Thomas. His pass went infield and Neves plays it off Pratt and behind for a Wolves goal kick. Rob in Calgary says looking forward to this game, especially after Matt Doherty's assist in the Albion game.
He's just looking at the way that they're setting up Maddison and Pratt, stopping them from playing out from the back.
Rob also says it's -9 degrees Celsius and snowing, so need a warming performance, but he thinks draw would be a good result, going for a 1-1. Dendoncker with a flick on from the goal kick. Neto couldn't find Jimenez. Ball comes back into the Wolves half. That Maddison lifts it early, looking for the run of Vardy. Cody is pulled to the Leicester left to try and close him down. Thomas takes over. Back in field to Mendy. Neto trying to get a foot in. Dendoncker does so on Thomas, and it's another Leicester throw. There's a good tempo and urgency about the game so far.
Yeah, there is. Both teams want to play, don't they? Movement's good from both. Again, so they're just lacking that last pass final decision.
Thomas with a throw. Didn't quite get it back to Pratt. It will be a Wolves throw and a chance to try and move upfield. They've been penned back in for the first 7 minutes or so.
They have, yeah. Leicester's definitely been on the front foot, haven't they? So look, they've definitely put a lot of pressure on them. We said about at the beginning about with fatigue coming to it a little bit, but they've definitely started sharp.
Semedo's throw down the line. Header by Fuchs. Climbing around the side of Raul Jimenez. Wolves throw. Right in front of Nuno on the edge of his technical area. He and Brendan Rodgers laid wreaths of poppies as part of the ceremony before kickoff. Jimenez back to Semedo. Ball down the line, intercepted by Fuchs, who finds Maddison. Semedo with a foot in. Dendoncker to Jimenez, who tries to switch the play early out to Nori.
I think that's going to be one of the things if we can do it early, because you're looking at Pratt and Maddison. They are playing quite narrow, just behind Vardy. If we can get out to that fullbacks early, I think that there is an opportunity for us to exploit that space in front of them. Again, they're just dropping off now because Wolves have got the possession.
Nori with his first goal for Wolves last week on his debut, his first senior goal of his career as well. This might surprise a few. This is only the 25th appearance of his career. He is very much at the beginning of it.
Oh, yeah. So looking again, so there's no better way than doing it, getting himself a goal as well. And as I said last week, he definitely grew into the game, didn't he? He got better as he went on.
Only the 17th appearance of Max Kilman's career. Wolves heavily reliant on youth. Neves trying to track Pratt's run down the right-hand side. Did well. Kilman with the clearance to Aït-Nouri. He tries to lift it towards halfway. Fofana's header forwards, though. Tillemans being forced infield. Maddison will go backwards to Johnny Evans. Sweeping it low for Fuchs. Out to Thomas on the Leicester left. Semedo closing in. Thomas trying to turn him, though. Semedo getting back to him. Looked like there might have been a hand involved there. And Anthony Taylor agrees and gives Wolves the free kick.
Yeah, Semedo just got caught out a little bit there, didn't he? But he soon made up for it. Let's get back with Thomas.
Pedro Neto, this is the 60th appearance of his career.
Tell you what, that's some going, isn't it? So was he 20?
20, yeah.
Yeah, so it's some going, that is.
53rd Wolves appearance. He's only been here a little over a year.
Just shows you the impact that he's had on the club, hasn't it? On the team. He's there on merit.
Fuchs with a throw for Leicester, midway inside their own half. Big long throw into the centre circle for Pratt, who helps it on its way to Justin. Justin caught by Jimenez. Ball goes out of play for a Leicester throw. A couple of yards inside their own half. So you can get in touch at Mikey Burrows, at Wolves on social media. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. Have your say as we go past 10 minutes played at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 0, Wolves 0 on this Sunday afternoon on Remembrance Weekend. As Bolly gets a strong foot in and
just steps in, doesn't he?
out of play for another Leicester throw. It's going to be Justin. It was Fofana, I think, taking the throw, actually, and Neves is intercepted. He finds Pedence on the left-hand side, playing it back into his own half to Cody, who touched it a couple of yards for Bolly to bring it up over the halfway line. Neto had come short. Bolly turning back infield. Will find Neves pretty much on the centre spot. Out to Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side. Back to Kilman.
So I think he did that really well there, Bolly. So look, he had opportunities to try and force the ball, but no, decided to take it up and go back again and start again. And that just shows you the way that we play. So look, we don't try and force things. Well, the majority of the times we don't. If it's not on, try and recycle the pass or the ball. Oof.
Well, talk about patience. Jimenez has tried one of his big volleys from a throw from Aït-Nouri and he got it completely wrong. And Dendoncker with an important foot in on Thomas to win possession back. And here's Neto on the right-hand side, just short of halfway. Trying to turn back in field. Leicester swarming around Wolves. Here comes Pratt, just ahead of the centre circle. For Tillemans, to Maddison. Dendoncker trying to get back there, but Maddison still has the ball. Little pass slipped through to Dennis Pratt. Now Mendy will go out to Justin on the right-hand side. Back in field to Nampalys Mendy, to Maddison, midway inside the Wolves half. Twisting and turning, facing up against Dendoncker. Pratt helps it wide for Justin. On again to Pratt, who'd continued his run. Tempted cross, hits Kilman. And it's going to be given as a corner. But I think it did hit the arm of Max Kilman, and Leicester are appealing.
I think it did. I think it did from here. I know we're a bit away from it, but I'm sure that VAR will check it. It's hit him on the hand. Oh, yeah.
Well, the assistant referee on the far side, the camera was focused in on him. Well, the question will be whether Kilman's arm is just down by the side.
Oh, he's not lifted it, has he? It is by the side. Well, they're waiting on the VAR check.
Maddison is taking his time over this, and we are getting an official VAR check now for a handball against Max Kilman.
Well, he wasn't in an unnatural position, was it?
He was a little bit out, though. It wasn't straight down by his side. And Anthony Taylor is going to come and look at the screen and check for himself here.
I think we could be in trouble here.
Anthony Taylor coming over, and he will get a view that we've had.
Yeah.
From a camera angle on the opposite side that will show it a little bit more clearly.
At the end of the day, it's interpretation, isn't it now? Whatever he thinks. It's hit him on the hand, there's no doubt about it. But it's that element of unnatural position, I think.
He's had a look.
Yeah.
He's making the screen, and it is a penalty for Leicester. Max Kilman's left hand. The ball hit it. Wolves are still complaining. But you could almost tell from Tomo's initial reaction. They're going to show it on the big screen so the players can see it now. It always feels harsh. That is the rule.
Yeah.
And by the letter of the law, it is a penalty. It just feels a little bit cruel.
Yeah, it does. And so like I knew it straight away when it struck the hand that if he looks at it again, it looks like it's down to his opinion, the referees, whether or not it's in an unnatural position or not. But it's hit the hand without doubt.
Jamie Vardy then against Rui Patricio. Patricio saved from Raheem Sterling last season. The last spot kick he denied. Can he deny Jamie Vardy here? He strikes it right-footed, sends him the wrong way. Patricio went right. The ball went to his left, and Leicester take the lead at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh. But again, so like it's just one of those things, as you've said there, laws of the game. It's a shame because so like Leicester have been pretty bright from the start. Never really threatened the Wolves' goal. And for it to get it that way, and Kilman will be disappointed that he's given away a penalty. But yeah, just watching the replay again, yeah, his arm's up a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, had it been straight by his side, I mean, he's turning his body, and that's kind of why his arm goes up. It still feels a harsh decision.
Well, it does. Well, I think that the way that he's turned there, the referee hasn't given it to start with, has he? He's given a corner.
And say the assistant referee had a very good view of it, and he didn't signal for it as Jimenez jumps into Fuchs on halfway. I wonder as well, and we'll get the views of Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme at half-time as well, that sometimes in these decisions, when the referees do look at it on the screen, and it's good that they are doing that this season, that they surely at some point they have to take into consideration where the ball was going to go.
Yeah.
That cross was going to go straight into Rui Patricio's arms.
But Leicester didn't really have any players in the box there. They had one out on the far side.
That's the point. Yeah. That surely that has to play some kind of consideration. He's not denied Leicester an opportunity from there.
No.
But, you play it on an extra second and it goes straight through to Patricio. Had it not gone there.
Yeah, put it this way. I would want the penalty if it was also at the other end.
Of course you would.
Yeah. Well, you know that anyway, for a fact.
Here's Neves on halfway to Willy Bolly to the right side of the centre circle. Wolves going to try and get back. Maybe a sense of injustice will be amongst them. But they haven't really seen a great deal of the ball in the opening period. Dendoncker has it now on halfway, looking to switch it out to the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. There's a little bit of space ahead of him. He'll carry it into the Leicester half, closed down, so we'll go backwards to Kilman.
But we're saying that never really threatened the Wolves' goal, though, did they? So it's I know teams do have a bit of possession against Wolves time and time again, but just a bit harsh there.
Oh, unfortunately,
he could have turned, couldn't he?
Semedo showed a neat bit of footwork, played it infield to Dendoncker, who tried to play it back to him first time rather than maybe getting a shout to control and turn, as Tom mentioned.
Yeah, he could have turned, couldn't he?
Very long. Bolly ducked underneath because Cody was around the back of him, and Cody's header went off the back of Bolly and out of play for a Leicester throw. Things aren't quite falling.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I think he just shouted a little bit late as Bolly's already gone up for the header, and then he's realised he's just pulled out of it, but he was in the way of Connor Cody.
Maddison with a flick on down the left-hand side. Thomas will hook it in from deep. No one really there. Aït-Nouri has time to head it clear. Podence will nod it back to him. And Aït-Nouri wide again for Podence, midway inside the Wolves half, turning and looking to run it up towards the halfway line with Namplis Mendy for company. Back to Neves, looking up and switching it for Bolly. Willy Bolly with options down the line, one of which is Semedo on halfway. Semedo almost fell on top of Maddison. Bolly has the ball. Anthony Taylor waves play on, and Bolly trying to play it in behind for the run of Neto. Too much on the pass. And he'll go out of play for a Leicester throw.
Yeah, it was the right idea, wasn't it? Just struck it a little bit too much there. Maddison's moaning to the referee, but there was nowhere else that Semedo could go. So he's gone inside and he's just basically just stood across him.
Yeah, I mean, surely it would have been obstruction.
Yeah, just watching that.
Wolves' favour.
Yeah, just watching the replay again, and he's just stood across Semedo.
Vardy with a flick in field from the halfway line. Dennis Pratt just to the left of the centre circle. Inviting Fofana to carry it forwards. Wide out to Justin. Closed down by Aït-Nouri. It goes infield to Maddison. Now for Tielemans. Maddison to Christian Fuchs. It's pretty much been all Leicester so far. And Wolves need to try and get a foothold in this game.
Yeah, but we knew that we were going to come here and said we knew that Leicester were going to play, and that's what we're getting here. So I don't think it's come as any surprise to the Wolves team, but I think that, say, just need to get into them a little bit more for me. So we need to just put a little bit more pressure on them and retain possession of the ball.
Justin down the right-hand side. Pratt's cross in. It just evaded Vardy, who got ahead of Connor Cody.
Well, there you go. There's a similar situation where the penalties come from. That kind of situation where the ball would have come across. I know they had Vardy in there, but very similar in the way that it was built up there. Did enough there to just put him off.
Yeah, getting across that run of Dennis Pratt.
Yeah, just did enough, didn't he, Connor Cody?
So, Wolves throw. Nelson Semedo down to Neto, back to Semedo for Willy Bolly. Wolves are only on 42% of the ball so far. They've got another throw, but deep inside their own half. We've barely seen Podence and Jimenez involved in the game so far. Nuno's in discussion with Jimenez right now.
Yeah, so the supply up to them has not been great, has it? Or Leicester have won it back or intercepted.
Mendy is tracking Podence all the way here as Semedo throws it down the line. Fuchs got there ahead of Neto, lifted it forwards. Maddison trying to tee it back. Jimenez couldn't quite get enough on the ball to evade Mendy to find Podence, and Leicester have possession again.
Yeah, we've just got to find a way just to retain the possession a little bit more, just to get a little bit higher up the field for me.
Justin down the right-hand side for Leicester again. Back to halfway to Fofana. I'll use Johnny Evans. Could be yards short of the base of the centre circle. Tielemans has come short for it, allowed to turn. Now finding Maddison, who's pulled out to the left-hand side, midway inside the Wolves half. Down the line for Thomas, up against Semedo. Trying to go past him on the outside. Semedo did enough to force a bit of a weak cross that goes behind for a goal
Yeah,
kick.
he did well with him, didn't he? So he matched him up there, just stood across him a little bit. So Thomas really couldn't get any power or anything direction on the cross. But yeah, so they've got to try and stop. You're just looking at now, the stopping Wolves playing from the back. The three lads across there, the two midfield lads are pushing up to Bolly and Kilman, Pratt and Maddison.
Patricio's kick forwards, free header for Mendy. Vardy nodding it down to Maddison.
That's what you can't do. You can't be letting people just have free headers there. Got to try and pick somebody out just to put a challenge in.
Mendy to Pratt. The game is being played at the tempo that Leicester are dictating so far. Pratt trying to slide it in behind. Kilman intercepting on the edge of his penalty area. And he'll look to knock it early up towards Jimenez, who climbs superbly ahead of Fuchs and found Neto, who will be with a bit of a heavy touch, but has managed to keep it in on the right-hand side. Neto infield to Dendoncker. Support here from Semedo. A little short pass to Neto. Looking infield, trying to switch the play out to Aït-Nouri. Midway inside the Leicester half on the Wolves' left. Back infield to Ruben Neves. Neves trying to switch the play out to Semedo. Lovely ball again. Semedo now attacking Thomas. Low cross into the near post, blocked off by Tielemans, and Leicester will try and bring it clear.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So look, if you are getting in there, you've got to try and get that delivery right.
Vardy trying to turn Cody, who is with him all the way. Cody missed the ball, though, with his attempted sliding tackle. And Vardy up against Bolly. His pass goes straight infield to Neves.
Oh.
The sliding challenge of Mendy got there, although Neto putting pressure on has forced a mistake. Jimenez through the middle of the Leicester half. He tried to slide it into Podence, and Wesley Fofana with the recovery tackle. Leicester have the ball back on halfway.
Yeah, Fofana did well there, didn't he? If he just got the pass through, Podence was in. But at least they're starting to ask a few questions of Leicester. But again, they need to be careful. They don't get caught themselves.
Here's Pratt. Back to Fofana, just to the right of the centre circle. Mendy forwards, Maddison on the turn, Bolly with a foot in, early up to Jimenez, who sets it to the right-hand side for Wolves, to Neto to carry it over halfway, and Neto trying to use his pace on the outside of Fuchs, but he's run the ball out of play.
Yeah, because I think that's a position where we can exploit a little bit. With Fuchs down this, Wolves' right-hand side with Neto, as he touched on there, he just managed to just hit his head of play with his touch.
Fuchs back for Johnny Evans. Infield to Kasper Schmeichel to launch it first time towards halfway. Dendoncker won the header, but Neves slipped and Pratt got there first. Tillemans to Fofana. Over the halfway line come Leicester again. A little short pass infield to Mendy. Tillemans head of the centre circle. 10-yard pass finding Maddison midway inside the Wolves half. Leaving it for Tillemans. Now Fofana. Wolves trying to get back into their shape as Fofana plays infield to Pratt. Neves thought he could win it. Pratt just about held on to it, but was forced wide and ends up conceding a throw.
Yeah, put enough pressure on there just to win it, haven't they? But again, Wolves are trying to ask questions of Leicester, trying to go forward a little bit more. They have offered a little bit, but nothing major concern for Leicester's defence at the moment.
Sue from Willenhall says, tough one today, hoping for a 2-1 win.
Well, we said it was going to be a tough game. They're a good side, Leicester. We know what style of play they play, so it was always going to be difficult. But again, I've mentioned just would like us to have a little bit more possession and retain the ball.
Christopher Straub listening in Mobile, Alabama says, let's go Wolves. Let's get a win today in those 3 points. At Mikey Burrows at Wolves on Twitter. Use the hashtag Wolves Live to have your say. Tillemans for Fofana. Back infield to Tillemans, being forced backwards by Neves, but he's lifted a ball over the top of Aït-Nouri for the run of Justin, who tried to cross early. Hanging cross will be plucked out of the air by Rui Patricio. He's tried to get on with things quickly, launching downfield, but Johnny Evans able to nod it down. Dendoncker, though, read where that ball was going, got there first. Jimenez for Semedo. On the turn away from Maddison, back to Bolly. There's a 1-2 with Neves.
Yeah, so he's just looking at that there. He's got the ball. There's nothing really moving in front of him.
Oh, and then Neves with a ball in between Kilman that Aït-Nouri had to race back and just about kept in on the left-hand touchline.
Yeah.
Neto and Podence have swapped for the time being, but it's Leicester coming forwards with the ball again. Pratt down the right-hand side. Support from Justin. First time cross deflects off the head of Neves through to Thomas. Trying to tee it up for Mendy. Mendy then with a loose pass out of play.
Well, that's better pressure from Wolves at least, forcing them into that error. Mendy was looking for that pass out here to Thomas. Because of the pressure from the Wolves midfield and defence, we're just able to put a little bit on him to pass it out of play.
Well, Semedo with a awkward ball back into his penalty area for Patricio.
I don't know how to take that one. Was he trying to pick him out or was he trying to pass to somebody else? I don't know. But
felt like he was trying to switch the play and hooked it a bit more than he wanted to.
Yeah.
Bolly to Semedo. Here's Jimenez.
It's better, isn't it? Better build-up play. Just retaining it.
Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side, on halfway, back to Kilman. Got to give credit to Leicester and their work rate, and especially Pratt and Maddison, who are not allowing Wolves to be comfortable on the ball.
No, so look, they are putting pressure on.
Bolly trying to set it over the top for the run of Semedo, just too much on it. Schmeichel out quickly to the left-hand side of his penalty area.
Yeah, that was a shame, wasn't it? So right idea. Again, it just skidded away from Semedo. But there's opportunities there. If you can just get the possession right, way to pass, it can cause them a problem. So I think it's a back three that you can get at, Fuchs and Evans and Fofana.
Well, certainly Fuchs, you would imagine.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised we tried to exploit it a little bit more. I know Neto and Podence have switched sides now. But just one of those, just to have a go at him.
This is Mendy. Just 10 yards over the halfway line, a little bit more. Infield to Tillemans, to the feet of Maddison in the centre of the Wolves half. There's a attempted ball wide, blocked off by Neto, who has to play it backwards to Aït-Nouri, less than 10 yards from his own corner flag, and clearance deflects off Pratt and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, really didn't have any options at all, did he, but kick it off him. But looking already as they set up, just to stop Wolves from playing out from the back. Those two midfielders in Vardy, Maddison and Pratt.
We have played just about 29 minutes of the game so far. Leicester 1, Wolves 0. There's Dendoncker on halfway, flicking forwards. Fofana getting the better of Jimenez. Neves with an early one looking towards Neto. Header won by Justin, but it'll drop to the feet of Aït-Nouri. Back to Neves on halfway. Midway between the touchline and the centre circle. Down the left-hand side for Aït-Nouri. Neto is ahead of him. Aït-Nouri's lost possession though. Tillemans back to Justin. Wolves have just been a little bit more sloppy than we've seen them in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, just need a little bit more urgency as well, don't they, on the ball, for me. So they made it pretty easy for Leicester at the minute to deal with them and cope with the attacks that they've had. Just need to put a little bit more pressure on them, a little bit more quality, I think.
Justin with the big high crossfield ball to the left-hand side to Maddison. Early one up towards Tillemans. Closed down by Neves. Bolly trying to turn on the edge of his penalty area, and he did really well. And then he scooped it forwards looking for Neto, but Fofana read it. Justin onto Fofana, who's continued his run here deep into the Wolves half. Tracked by Aït-Nouri. Infield to Pratt, right inside the penalty area. Cody with a clearance. Comes out to Tillemans on the edge of the box, trying to wriggle his way through. Still going, Tillemans, pulling it back towards Maddison, who just was closed down in time by Dendoncker. Otherwise, he was ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he, just to block him, because you could see he was just trying to get that half a yard. Dendoncker did well against him.
Pratt to Mendy. Out to the right-hand side to Justin. Pulling it back again to Mendy. Into the middle of the half to Tillemans. Turning and looking left, didn't see anything, so went back to Mendy, who plays it out to Justin on the right-hand touchline. To Maddison. Turning and looking infield, backwards to Tillemans, into Fuchs, who's now joining the attack, and Fuchs lining one up from distance and fizzed wide of the far post of Rui Patricio. From our angle, looked like it might have caused him more problem than maybe Patricio thought it did in the end.
Yeah, well, Fuchs caught it well, but I think that's probably the first opportunity they really had to have a clear shot, I think. So, look, I know they're 1-0 up. They had quite a bit of possession, but they haven't caused massive problems for Wolves. But I'm a bit concerned that we haven't really offered anything going the other way in this first half an hour or so.
At the moment, Wolves not able to find their teammates in gold shirts when they do have the ball.
Well, there's an example of what we talk about that care when we've got the ball. So look, there's been long spells that we haven't had the ball. Got to do a lot better when you do get it back.
Neto, Semedo, Dendoncker, wide for Neto, or miscontrol from him. And out of play for a Leicester throw inside their own half, and that perhaps sums it up more than anything.
Yeah, that's the kind of trend that we've had so far, isn't it? That we give away the ball. Again, there's no doubt we're working hard and closing it and winning the ball back, but when we do win it back, we're not doing that brilliant with it.
They just don't quite feel as sharp, do they?
There you go. We're lucky to get away with that one. Jimenez read it pretty well. No, we don't look so sharp on the ball. It's options as well for me. I say, look, you're looking at that. We've got the ball and it's quite static in front. Just need to be moving it. A little bit of movement in front of the ball.
Well, the issue is when Wolves do have it, everybody in a blue shirt, bar Vardy, is back deep in their own half. And it means that Bolly is seeing a lot of the ball. Neves seeing a lot of it, but nowhere really to go.
But what they do well, I said Pratt and Maddison especially, they just keep moving right across that front line, just get little pockets of space and cause a problem where we're quite static in front of him there. Look, we've either got the diagonal or we just pass it back or square and just need another option.
Here's Jimenez out to Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side, foot in by Justin. It'll be a Wolves throw on halfway. I can't really remember Daniel Podence having a touch so far.
Well, Jimenez ain't far off. I know he's had a couple of touches, but hasn't really had a lot of the ball, the two of them.
Podence's almost first contribution in a while is to be caught by Tielemans in the centre circle. Wolves free kick, 33.5 minutes played. Wolves trailing by a goal to nil.
Yeah, the only one out the front three who's had a little bit more possession is Neto, isn't it? He seems to have had a little bit, but hasn't been able to cause a problem for Leicester.
Here's Kilman, wide for Aït-Nouri. To Kilman in his own half, to Neves, just left-hand side of the centre circle, looking early for the run of Dendoncker, who tried to head it in field. Evans there ahead of Neto. Wolves had the numbers forward that time. Oh, missed kick by Thomas. Ball's going to fall to Semedo. Semedo infield to Neto, to Neves, middle of the half, just to the right-hand side of it. Wider for Dendoncker. Back infield to Neves. Neves trying to flick it on for the run of Semedo. It's a good one, and it needed Fuchs to come across and put it behind for a Wolves corner.
That's better, isn't it? A little bit of link-up play, a little bit better. Come from the mistake of Thomas, where he went to play and kind of slipped and nearly fell over.
First corner of the game for Wolves that Pedro Neto will take. Podence is less than 10 yards from him, actually stood on the goal line. It's drawn Mendy out from the defensive unit. Neto, two arms in the air, plays it short to Podence. Now back to Neto as he curls round and whips a left-footed cross in. Headed away by Fuchs. Neto trying to backheader it to Podence. And now a big diagonal clearance that Aït-Nouri needs to get there ahead of Vardy. Did so, took a whack for his troubles. And a Wolves free kick again.
Well, he's got a bit of fire in his belly, hasn't he, Vardy, when he plays Wolves? And again, he said the ball was there to win, but he's just a little bit late on Nouri, I think. Just watching the replay. Yes. I think it's when he comes down, isn't he? He's just stood on his foot, I think.
I don't think it was too dissimilar a challenge that saw him sent off here 2 years ago. Here's Semedo. It was against Matt Doherty on that occasion. Neto, trying to find the feet of Jimenez, and only about, 5 yards away? No,
yeah, and he missed him, didn't he?
Missed him. Gave him the big build-up before kick-off.
But to be fair, out of the front three, he's probably the one who's had more touches than the other two.
Oh, yeah.
And Podence and Jimenez.
He's not alone in being a little off the mark so far in a gold shirt. How much of that is down to the way Leicester are playing? How much of it is down to Wolves? We will discuss at half-time, which is less than 10 minutes away. Mendy in possession, back to halfway. To Pratt, across to Fuchs. Just infield to Yuri Tielemans. Maddison back to Tielemans again, who will look to switch the play to Fofana. Justin is down the line for him. He'll go backwards to Pratt, though. Leicester seemingly happy with their 1-0 lead now, just to slow things down and move Wolves around.
But I think that's just come from Wolves having a little bit of pressure on them, though, wasn't it? A little bit of play.
Tielemans for Maddison. He's drawn Neto out with him. Back to Tielemans. Dendoncker closing him down. Back to Evans at the base of the centre circle. Wolves back in their shape. Evans trying to go in behind. Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri with a heavy touch. Now that might be another Leicester penalty. It is, you know. Ryan Aït-Nouri's challenge on Justin. Aït-Nouri tried to control it and he lifted it up, and that allowed Justin to get round him, and then the teenager rather clumsily went flying in towards the ball and he makes a bit of contact. Anthony Taylor thought about it, didn't need to go to the
penalty for
screen
me.
To check again.
No. He's just got to hit. He's got to clear that with his right foot. He's tried to control it, running backwards towards his own goal in the penalty area. And when he has controlled it, it's just gone up into the air. It's allowed Justin just to run in.
Well, he got away with potentially giving away a penalty last week, Ryan Aït-Nouri. He's not got away this time. And
it's a VAR check for offside.
Oh, no. Well,
he's offside if that's anything. But
Vardy is offside, but
yeah. I don't know
I'm
if
not
he's
sure
involved.
what point Vardy is involved in this.
He's offside. I don't know what's happened there. Has he gone towards the ball or distracted him? I don't know. Justin's
not offside.
No, Justin's well on.
So I'm pretty sure this will be given as a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vardy was offside. Justin wasn't. That was the only way Wolves were going to get away with that. Now they're relying on Rui Patricio. Now here's the question. Does Vardy go the same side? Jamie Vardy against Rui Patricio for a second time in the game. It's Vardy to strike it. Patricio saves. The follow-up goes wide. Yeah. Big moment. Rui Patricio wins that battle of the minds. And it remains Leicester 1, Wolves 0.
Well, so look, Aitanori, so he's going to keep us to thank. Just watching the replay. Yeah, so just off centre, wasn't it? Keeper's kind of ready because he's paused a little bit, Patricio.
Patricio went to his right. Vardy did change sides, but he didn't go enough. I think he was banking on Patricio moving and going the other way.
Well, just saying there, I know he's a young boy, Aitanori, but so he's got to learn from that. Can't afford to be controlling the ball in your own penalty area the way he did. And again, he's just got away with it. But is that a turnaround now for Wolves in this game?
Evans to play it back to Schmeichel. Jimenez was closing in. First time clearance. Tielemans beat Neves. Nuno throwing his arms up in frustration.
I think he's upset about the quality of what we've actually putting up to the front, lads. I think he's not happy with it.
Cody for Semedo. Last 5 minutes of the half.
I just think that if we do get something out of this game, that penalty save is going to be a massive turnaround for me. So they haven't really created a great deal. Leicester, they've had a lot of possession, but my concern would be that we haven't caused any problems at all to them.
Here is Daniel Podence. Going to try and play it in behind for the run of Semedo. It's a good ball. Semedo fizzing across all the way through and out of the penalty area. Didn't really have that many numbers up there in support with him. Maddison against Neves. Turning back in field. Dendoncker pulls him down.
It's going to be a booking for Dendoncker.
Well, Neves had a go.
Yeah.
Dendoncker completed it.
But you're just looking at that attack there. Semedo's got into a great position. And unfortunately, I think there's only Dendoncker who's actually in there. What he's trying to pick out. I think Leicester have got about 3 players in there. But that's what Semedo offers. He offers you that threat going beyond the defenders. He's got behind Fuchs. He's been a couple of times, but he got picked out on that one. Just got to try and get up there and have a gamble and try and threaten them a little bit.
Semedo with a foot in, or Neto with a loose pass backwards. Bolly sliding in to deny Maddison, but Leicester still have the ball. Dennis Pratt midway inside the Wolves half. Out to the right side to Justin. Up against Aitanori, trying to go past him on the outside. Manages to get his cross in. Semedo heads the ball away. Tielemans trying to bring it down. Pratt will get there. Trying to make the run on again. Dennis Pratt will just about keep it in. Kilman blocks it off at the near post and brings the ball out of the penalty area. And then again, a loose pass. It was nowhere near Podence.
But the thing is, though, there's nobody near him. There's nobody helping him. There's nobody giving him help with the ball.
Now here's Neto to try and carry it forwards. Podence had made a great run to the right-hand side. He didn't see him. Goes to the left to Aitanori over the halfway line. 3 minutes until half-time, plus time to be added on. Wolves trailing by a goal to nil at the King Power.
I think that if they're going at 1-0 down here, so look, I think that they've been off the hook a little bit because Leicester have been quite dominant with the ball. So coming out that second half, we know that we play better in the second half. I know that we come out a little bit better. Hopefully that's going to be the case today.
Here's Neves, midway inside the Leicester half. Leicester's so deep.
Yeah.
And Wolves have the ball. Semedo effectively saying, come on then, break us down. Kilman in towards the feet of Podence. Trying to lift it towards the run of Dendoncker, away by Fuchs. Neves into challenge. Podence back to Neves.
That's better, isn't it? At least they're winning the ball back higher up the field.
Willy Bolly out to Semedo on the right-hand side, up against Thomas. No room to go past him, went back to Bolly. Still inside the Leicester half. Back to Semedo again, back to Willy Bolly. Neves is coming short to pick up the ball. Podence ahead of him. trying to slide it in to a gap for Dendoncker down the right-hand side. Dendoncker with a cross deep. It comes through. Neto will try and keep the ball alive, lifting it back into the danger zone. Podence was arriving, and it needed Fuchs to get there ahead of him.
Well, if he didn't get it, he's got a header at goal, hasn't he, Podence?
Well, the smallest man on the pitch nearly found himself completely isolated in the 6-yard box there, Daniel Podence. Here he is again down the right-hand side for Wolves, losing possession to Fuchs, though. His clearance goes straight to Bolly, and all of a sudden it's Wolves' turn to be dictating the play.
Yeah, they're finishing this half pretty well at night. Can we get an opportunity at goal? A bit better, winning the ball back.
Neves just out of the centre circle. Out to the right-hand side to Daniel Podence. Semedo in field for him. Options in the penalty area. He's trying to go on the outside of Madison, who drags him down. And Wolves get a free kick.
Well, there's a good opportunity for him now. Free kick. He's about 5 yards just outside of the penalty area on this right-hand side for Wolves.
Just put his arm across him, James Madison.
Yeah, he got away from him a little bit, Andy Podence. Got away from Madison.
Neto to take it. Dendoncker, Kilman, Bolly and Jimenez will be the main targets. Podence is a little bit closer. The wall will be just inside the penalty area. It's about 15 yards from the corner flag, maybe slightly more.
It's a good angle. Just get past that first player.
Leicester have got everybody back in the penalty area to defend. Semedo, Neves and Aït-Nouri are outside it, waiting for a potential clearance. Pedro Neto, there's an inviting gap towards the near post. There's 2 minutes going to be added on. It goes in low into the danger zone. Podence tried to step over it.
That could have gone anywhere. That could have gone. It just fell to a Leicester player, but that could have gone anywhere. It was a decent ball in from Neto, hard and low.
Cody Ford's again. Bolly couldn't quite win it. He'll come out to Aït-Nouri, who crosses early. Kilman was challenging. The ball comes out to Podence. 30 yards from goal. Trying to turn up against Mendy. Has support from Neves. Neves might fancy a dig from distance. They knew it. Pratt came out and closed him down. Semedo wide on the right-hand side to Neto. Neto in field to Nelson Semedo. Semedo back onto his right foot. Wide again to Pedro Neto. Neto on his left, crossing deep. Wolves have got players arriving. Jimenez has taken it away from Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri now playing it backwards to Kilman. Infield to Neves. Strong finish to the half this from Wolves. Bolly to the right-hand side to Semedo. Podence putting it through the legs of one. Madison playing it backwards, and it will be a goal kick. Last touch came off Daniel Podence.
Oh, that's a shame. Jimenez there. We know that he wants to score. But Aït-Nouri should have had that ball, I think, for me.
It's amazing, isn't it? The cross was coming in. Aït-Nouri was arriving to it. I mean, I don't know whether it would be a language issue. Just give him a shout.
Just anything. Any shout, he's going to leave it, I would think. Yeah, just watching the penalties decision again.
We're in 2 minutes of added time. Last 20 seconds or so of it. Wolves behind to a Jamie Vardy penalty.
At least they finished it strong anyway. At least they finished the half pretty strong.
Here's Aït-Nouri to carry it over the halfway line. Wide for Podence. Podence trying to play it back down the line. The ball deflected to Dendoncker, who did well to get it first time to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri back onto his right foot, lifting across to the far side of the penalty area. Neto trying to find Jimenez, who's just outside the box, and a foot in by Mendy. And that's the final action of the first half. So Wolves behind at the break. For much of that first half, they were pretty much chasing Leicester shadows, but grew into the game. And as you mentioned, Tomo, the penalty save from Rui Patricio may well have been a turning point.
Yeah, it could be. So look, being 2-0 down rather than 1 at the moment would have been a bit disheartening for them. But again, they finished that half pretty well. Not really threatened the goal still, but at least it was a little bit more encouraging to watch the way that we're playing, moving the ball a little bit quicker. So just looking there, Aït-Nouri said just getting a handshake of everybody. And so look, they'll be disappointed with the way that the things have gone, but what they can take from it is that they aren't 2-0 down.
Well, indeed, they are not 2-0 down. They are 1-0 down. There is still work to do. Hopefully better to come from Wolves in the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a break and we'll be back with Tomo, Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo on Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
This season, the Old Gold Club and Wolves TV Matchday Live are powered by Blythe Group, an industry-leading construction company and family-run business since 1982, driving investment and infrastructure across the UK. Blythe Group's mission is to provide an unrivaled service based on innovative, bespoke building solutions and comprehensive customer support. If you're a skilled tradesperson and you want to join the team that powers our team, contact their bases in Wolverhampton, Manchester or Maidenhead via theblythegroup.co.uk. Blythe Group, big enough to deliver, small enough to care.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Julian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from me, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, powered by Blythe Group, available now.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
Jota on the volley, oh, what a goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
Half-time then at the King Power Stadium. Wolves trailing by a 1-0. Could well have been 2-0. A big penalty save from Rui Patricio, keeping it at just the 1. Chris Iwelumo, I'll come to you first. Thoughts on that first half performance?
Well, nowhere near good enough. You know, I think second best. Very lucky to still be in the match. I've got to say, Anthony Taylor, absolutely shocking decision for the first penalty. You know, I think when he goes to the screen, you're thinking, right, common sense is going to prevail here, but not the case. Yeah, it did hit Max Kilman's hand. Yes, his hand's in an unnatural position, but it's definitely not hand to ball. What? I don't even know how it's possible, because the referee are allowed to kind of use a little bit of common sense and say, you know what, it's not intentional. The second one, the Aït-Nouri one, spot on penalty, fantastic save by Rui Patricio. But we've had one shot, and that came in the last 3 minutes of the half. You know, none on target at the minute. This is what I'm trying to say about small steps. You know, we know what Leicester are going to. We know what they're good at. We've got to go out there and win those battles. We're not just going to go out there and play, be allowed to play the way that we can play. You know, you've got to fight and contest for everything, and it's not been good enough. But like you say, it's only 1-0. That's the positive to take out of the half. We still can go into it. We can grow into it. We score a goal and it's game on. But to be fair, it's been Nuno will be tearing them to bits, and the players will be going having pops at each other at the minute, because all over the pitch we've not been getting to the levels that we're used to.
Okay, we'll come to the issues around the attacking play in just a minute, because I think Carl Ikeme is going to agree with you on that. Did you agree with what Loom said about the penalty, Kings?
The first penalty.
First penalty.
Oh, it's a terrible decision. Terrible. I was just watching a replay there, and if you see the Leicester player as he put the ball into the box, his arm was here. Is that natural? Because he was passing the ball. Max Kilman's arms at his side. He's 5 yards away from him. He sprayed the ball right next to him. If his arm's up in the air, fair enough, give the pen. But his arm's by his side, and
it is out though, isn't it? It's kind of down and out. It's like this.
But when you turn into this, I think when you're trying to turn to the side, it's not natural for you. It's not natural. I'm going to stand up a little bit, but it's not natural for you to be like this either.
Yeah,
so it's kind of. I thought those common sense was going to prevail as well, and I know Tomo's definitely not going to think it's a penalty, but I agree with Looms. I think he's too close to. I think he's too close to him, and if your arms, say above a natural, naturally above your elbow, then fair enough. But if it's down here and it's very close, I just don't agree.
You use your arms to hold your balance. You use your arms as you're stepping out to try and block it. And I say, like, what? You're not going to stand there, step out, and have your arms as you just showed there, have them down by your side.
The problem is as well, if you have your arms right next to your side, if he doesn't put the ball in the box and turns the other way, Tomo, as you know, you haven't got the balance to turn again because your arms are not in the correct position.
But listen, to the letter of the law, Anthony Taylor can award a penalty there, right? That because the hand is out, but Mikey, that's part and parcel. So let me see, when defenders put their arms behind the back like this, and the ball hits off my elbow. Basically, to the letter of the law, it's a penalty kick, but it's not. It's not, and that's where the referee, as human beings, have to be better. He's went to the screen for the fact that the person at Stockley Park has said, you know what, it has hit his hand. It is in an unnatural position, but I don't think it's a penalty. So you're going to have to look at that.
The point that I made in commentary was that there is no one in the box for that. Like, surely if they're going to go and have a look at it on the screen, you have to roll it on a little bit and go, well, even if it didn't hit his hand, that was going straight to Patricio.
Exactly as well. If it's an attempt on goal, and I still think it's bad, if it's an attempt on goal, I could half see your point. No one's in the box. It's not going to anyone. He's not blocked it from a through ball. It's just a ridiculous decision. And as soon as he went up to that monitor, I knew he was going to give it.
Well, I said that to Mikey.
I knew he was going to give it. Yeah. It's just a terrible referee decision.
Yeah, well, the thing's
shocking. It's shocking. Let's be honest. We don't deserve nothing from this first half.
No, we don't. No.
But that was a terrible decision. It's not about Wolves. It's about the Premier League. It's about the handball decisions that have been going on all season. It's
Anthony Taylor gave nothing to start with. Nor the assistant referee who was over that side as well. That tells you something, that neither of them actually signalled for anything but a corner.
The second penalty, I think we're all kind of agree that was a penalty.
Yeah.
Blatant penalty,
It's just one of them. You think about it, there, just clear it.
Yeah.
Just put your foot through it, and fair play to the confidence of them to take it with the outside.
There's areas that you don't know, do they?
I wouldn't have done that in the attacking box, never mind the defending box.
The only problem with that is how Wolves have been. It sums Wolves' first half up, that penalty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A bit casual, a bit flippant in our play, and got punished really. Which let's thank Rui, because we could have been out the game, and at 2-0 off that first half performance alone.
Yeah,
you don't know if there's a way back for Wolves.
I wanted to ask you about that, Carl, because from a goalkeeper's perspective, you've already faced him once, and he went high to that side. Clearly, Vardy thought Patricio was going to change. How difficult is that choice? What would have been going through Patricio's mind to go, no, I'm going this way?
It's a mind game then, and I think he'll know before the game where Vardy's been. If someone takes a penalty in the same position, he's majority going to go to that side. But he's probably seen before the game that Vardy will go both ways, and I think that's why he's made the decision, stuck with it, and fair play to him, because that save could be massive in the context of this game, because if at 2-0 on that first half performance, we could have been out of it, because there was nothing in that first half performance apart from the last couple of minutes where we kind of came into it that you're looking at the Wolves performance and thinking, do you know what, we can get back in this. It was a poor performance, disappointing, but the only good thing about it is what we've all said is it's only 1-0.
Yeah, well, that's the importance that Rui save as well. You know, it's lifted the players there the last couple of minutes. The halftime whistles probably came at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So it's now like, okay, the players know what they can do when they're at it. Can they come out and start the second half like that? It's so important that they do.
It's gauged the reaction, hasn't it? And sometimes it's a tackle, sometimes it's some other instance. But it needed something just to spark them, because you could see Nuno on the sideline as well, just looking, thinking, what's going on? I think, as we were saying before the game, our passing's been really poor. We knew from interceptions how important it was to get that first pass out, and we've just not done it. The pass appreciation has been really disappointing, firing balls into people where they ain't got a chance to control it. You know, just fire the right ball in.
So what do they do to change? Is it substitutions? Is it the style that they're trying to play? Or are they just saying to them, for goodness sake, switch on and make sure you pick each other out?
Keanes has said it. He said it. You know, it's that final decision. It's that pass. You know, the first pass is so important, but too many times it's been the wrong pass. You know, Leicester they're intelligent players. They set the trap. Go on. I dare you to put the pass in there. Go on. And too many times we've obliged, haven't we? And then we're on the back foot. So it's just decision making. You know, if the pass is on, you play it with quality, and that's what's been lacking. I wouldn't tweak it yet, but Nuno's ruthless.
Yeah.
You know, if he thinks there's a player in there that can give us a wee bit more intensity and give us a reaction, then the change will be made.
Adama Traore is the obvious choice.
I know we always say it every week, bring Traore and bring Traore. It's kind of an easy option, but I think from the first half performance, you are thinking bring him on, because Leicester have been dominant, and if Traore is on, if they keep coming on to us the way they are, then are they going to push us forward with Traore? I think we've been really deep as well. We've been playing in a flat back five, which is disappointing because it's killing Neves and Dendoncker, because Maddison's just dropping off into areas, and Neves and Dendoncker can't pick him up because he's pulling off Cody or pulling off Bolly, and Bolly can't go in with him because of the pace of Vardy. So I'd like to see us not be so flat in our back five. And the problem we've got as well is that we haven't to bring Neto back as well in a back three. So if we are going to have to bring Neto back to help Dendoncker and Neves, then I do think we need Traore, and we need a bit of pace for them to think, well, if we do go forward, we've got Traore back here and it's going to cause a problem.
We're going to need to be sharper with the ball for me as well. I think we're quite lethargic when we've got the ball, and it's suiting Leicester, picking us up. So we've ended up working really hard, getting the ball back, and then we're getting it straight back to Leicester because we need to be sharper in possession of the ball for me. But we need a spark from somewhere. We need somebody to drag us up that field.
Okay, I think I can see on our screens that Wolves are heading back out. So we will thank you, Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo. More from you after the final whistle, when we will go through everything that's happened across the 90 minutes and hopefully a big second half turnaround to come for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Don't go anywhere. Second half is coming next on Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group. Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
Jota on the volley, what a goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
Just looking here as well, they're making a change.
Yeah, Leicester brought on Mark Albrighton for Luke Thomas. So it looks like Justin will go over to play on the left-hand side. Mark Albrighton will be the right wing back. Wolves aren't making any changes at half-time, though Nuno is in deep discussion with Rui Pedro Silva, his number 2. down in the technical area as Leicester get us started for the second half. Wolves trailing by a goal to nil then. And as our pundits were saying at half time, a bit fortunate that it is only one.
They are. I'll say, look, I know Leicester haven't created a massive amount of chances or opportunities, but we haven't really caused them a problem. So give the ball away cheaply again.
Yeah, Bolly's ball forwards. This is Dennis Pratt bringing it on. He's thought about lining up a shot from distance, dummied it, goes wide to Albrighton, who looks to whip a cross in, and it was headed at the near post by Tillemans. A long way wide of Rui Patricio's left-hand post, though. Patricio in goal, Bolly, Cody, and Kilman. Semedo and Aït-Nouri are the wing-backs. Neves and Dendoncker in midfield. Neto, Jimenez and Podence up top. Leicester with Schmeichel in goal. Fofana, Evans and Fuchs, the back three. Justin and Albrighton now the wing-backs. Mendy and Tillemans in midfield. Pratt and Maddison behind Vardy.
Yeah, I think whoever's out on the left-hand side for Wolves is going to have to try and help Aït-Nouri here on this left-hand side. Albrighton's come on as right wing-back, and he's quite direct. He'll try and go on the outside of him. So we've just got to be careful they don't get a 2-on-1.
There is Kilman. Wolves playing from right to left as we look at it now, attacking the end where the away supporters would have been tucked in the corner. Had you been allowed to be here, and we very much hope that there will be a time soon when you can join us in these stadiums. It's not the same without you.
No, I'll say we've been to a few games now, haven't we, when this lockdown's come into place, and it's not the same, is it? Not the same at all.
There's Semedo trying to skip away from two challenges, got it back from Dendoncker. Now Jimenez, midway inside the Leicester half, in towards Neto, who was battling away with Evans, and Leicester came away with the ball. The Bolly will step in and win it back on the halfway line. An early one trying to get Neto away. Neto right inside of the penalty area, waiting for support, gets it from Semedo, who strikes it and strikes it high into the stand behind the goal.
Yeah, good play from Bolly, wasn't it? Stepping into that midfield area, just putting that ball just in front of Neto. Didn't really have anybody in there. Podence is trying really hard to get in there. But, look, I know Semedo got it all wrong with his shot, but at least he's showing a little bit of confidence and willing to have a go at the goal.
I wonder whether he's caught in two minds there, whether to shoot or cross, and just ended up rifling his foot through it. Bolly with a bit of miscontrol. Neves back to Cody. Just outside his own penalty area. For Kilman. Balls to Podence. Has support from Aït-Nouri. Under pressure from Albrighton. Back to Kilman, who looked to lift it down the line, but sold it short. And Fofana intercepted. Holding off the challenges of Aït-Nouri and Neves. Pratt's ball in field. Maddison to Vardy. Edge of the penalty area. Runs into Kilman. And Kilman will get a free kick.
Did well, Kilman. So look, you just saw that Vardy there coming in. Maddison closing down as well. Just a little bit of composure on the ball.
We've played just about 3.5 minutes at the start of the second half.
Just watching as well. So we did it a lot in the first half, where we're trying to be pinpoint with our passing, and when we're playing it from the back, sometimes just put it over the top. Just turn them. Just get them turned.
Aït-Nouri, Podence, trying to turn, but couldn't get around the big frame of Wesley Fofana. Maddison's flick on halfway. Justin on the left-hand side. Gets it back from Mendy. Looking to run at Dendoncker. Thought better of it. Goes backwards to Mendy in his own half.
Because I know that Leicester play everything in front of you, and they play the ball, they move the ball really well. But they won't be afraid. If it's got to go direct, got to go over the top, they'll do it and squeeze you. Wolves have just got to have a think about just mixing it up a little bit.
Evans back to Schmeichel on the edge of his penalty area. Now Christian Fuchs. Left-hand side for Justin. Bit of a loose pass in field, but Maddison got there ahead of Dendoncker, and now looking to race away from Neves, and it's still Maddison running forwards. And well, the free kick is given as Maddison went down, and a yellow card for Ruben Neves. That's both central midfielders on yellows now. I think Neves is asking the question that I don't think he actually really touched Maddison there. We'll get another view of it on the TV screens in front of us. He is trying to pull him back initially. Then I think Maddison, in pulling his foot back to try and strike it, kicks the calf muscle of Neves and goes down.
Yeah, well, you just said it on there. So look, as he's gone to play the ball, he's kicked the back of Neves. his calf. And I think that's what he's saying to the referee. It's a bit harsh on it. He's just trying to laugh it off Neves.
It's still a distance out, this, but Maddison, maybe Tielemans stood over it, might fancy having a go. The ball is just outside the D, so it tells you the kind of distance we're talking about.
Well, both of the people who are on it, Tielemans and Maddison, can both strike a ball. It looks like Tielemans is on it, I think, with the way he's setting up.
Evans has gone in, taking a position, an offside position, but behind everybody and trying to block the route through to Rui Patricio.
Well, you got 3 on there as well. You got Fuchs who's involved in it as well, so there's 3 of them.
It's Maddison to poke it for Tielemans to strike it high over the top of the crossbar and not troubling Rui Patricio.
No, he struck it well, but always going over.
And because he poked it to the side, Patricio had time to see it come through.
Yeah, just changing the angle of the shot, wasn't he? And also as well, testing the position of the goalkeeper.
Sue says hoping for one of Nuno's half-time dressing room talks, and then a turnaround in this second half. Need to be smarter with the ball and not sloppy with the passes, as it'll go all the way through to Rui Patricio. Steve says, don't forget, we always go 1 down in the first half. David Roll tuning in from an overcast day in Parkville, Missouri. Wolves can pull this out, going for Wolves 2, Leicester 1. Semedo getting a free kick inside his own half. Auntie P on the Shifnal sofa. Nephew James in Marseille as usual. I think we need to show a bit more drive and determination.
I'm just watching that there. So look, Neto's jumped for the ball. It could have gone anywhere when he was playing against Evans, and it just fell to Evans' feet.
Jimenez, early one up towards Pedence, edge of the penalty area, miscontrol. Ball will come back to Raul Jimenez though. Daniel Pedence just rather turned straight into Wesley Fofana. And Fofana looking to drive away from Neves. And out to the right hand side to Vardy, who'd pulled wide. Vardy up against Kilman, trying to find room to go for goal, and he did. And Patricio watched it and just got a little bit of fingertips to it, I think, to put it behind for a corner.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it, between Leicester and Wolves at the minute. They just can't create any opportunities. And we've said about the counter-attack. Vardy one-on-one with Kilman. He's just having a shot. It was always going a bit wide, but Patricio just had to get a touch on it, I think, just to make sure.
Yeah, it might have gone over the bar, but Patricio wasn't to know that.
No, he can't take that risk, can he?
53 minutes played at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Wolves 0.
I think that if nothing happens in the next 5 minutes or so, I think you might see a change.
Traore, Matinho and Marçal are out warming up. Corners taken short and played backwards to Justin. Wide for Maddison, who will cross right-footed, curling to the far post, plucked out the air by Patricio.
Yeah, that's easy enough for him, isn't it? Easy enough just to take it out of there, Patricio.
You know, one of the things we talked about in that Palace game was the fact that it seemed more like Wolves were prepared to shoot from distance and have a go from different types of areas. It feels a little bit today like they've gone back to trying to get too close to goal again. And
yeah, and also as well, so look, we have been a little bit sloppy as well, haven't we? We give away possession of the ball where there's not been massive pressure on us. And I think that's been the difference as well. The quality into the box or into the front man has just been off today. I know Leicester are a good side and they do put a lot of pressure on you, but we've got good quality players as well.
Jimenez will try and set Semedo away. The flag has stayed down in the meantime. Crossed in towards Pedence. Pedence may get a second chance. He's trying to tee it up to Dendoncker, who tries to find Aït-Nouri. And again, somebody needed to put their foot through it.
Well, I think if he gets out of the way, I don't know if it's Pedence or Jimenez. So look, I think that Neto's putting the ball in the net. But a great bike for Semedo down that right-hand side.
There might have been a hint of offside against Semedo anyway, had Pedence ended up putting it in. But yeah, you're right. Pedence almost stood in front of Neto, got in each other's way, and it went backwards to Dendoncker, who then tried to go backwards to Aït-Nouri.
Yeah, I think if he gets out of the way there, he's just side-footing it into the net. Neto.
Best bit of play that Wolves have crafted, though.
Yeah, it was.
They might get another chance for a loose pass. And now they've got 3-on-3. Pedence through the middle. Jimenez to his right. Neto to his left. Pedence now trying to find Neto, who will strike it goalwards. Kasper Schmeichel saves it to his left-hand side.
I don't think that's any advantage at all. A fail on Pedence outside the penalty area. I can't believe he's just waved play on there. He's got the power to bring it back.
Nuno's asking that question, and Wolves have got 3 out of the game as Maddison plays it wide left for Justin.
Well, that's a definite fail on Pedence. I know Central, was it a couple of yards outside the penalty area?
Yeah.
And it's gone to Neto, who's been closed down by a Leicester player. He's hit it first time. Pretty comfortable for Schmeichel, but for me, I think the referee's got to call that back. He's just gone play on.
There's Albrighton down the right-hand side. Neves back in his own penalty area, turning and clearing the ball forwards. Just in there ahead of Jimenez, though. Maddison on the turn. Maddison on his left foot, blocked off by Bolly. I can tell you that Adama Traore has been greased up down in front of us, so his introduction won't be far away.
He's getting his arms all there. Is it baby oil to put on it, or?
I don't know.
Vaseline.
Here's Maddison into the penalty area. Maddison curling one, and it took a deflection and behind for a corner. It's all go at the moment. It was Justin's ball forwards. Bolly's header to the edge of the box, and Maddison just allowed to turn and
great challenge.
Get in between Neves, and it needed Willy Bolly to come across. It's getting another replay of the Neto effort that was maybe a little bit too close to Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, but so it's the Pedence one that you're going to see. This one here.
It needed Fofana's touch to block Pedence, and Pedence then trying to tee it up for Dendoncker rather than letting Neto just strike it.
Yeah, if he moves out the way there, he's just hitting it, isn't he?
Maddison's corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Tielemans is out there with him. Everybody back defending in a gold shirt. Maddison to try and whip it into the danger zone. Patricio punches. Albrighton first to the loose ball, back to Mendy. Neto chasing him. Mendy coming towards the right. We'll leave it for Justin, who, under pressure from Pedence, will go all the way back to Schmeichel. We are told from our sources down at pitchside that it is Daniel Pedence who will make way for Traore.
Struggled to get into the game today, hasn't he?
Neves to Jimenez. He's got Aït-Nouri racing up on the left-hand side. Jimenez now to Aït-Nouri, left-hand side of the penalty area. Justin got the block on the cross. Again, he was trying to pull it back, I think, rather than just fizz it into the danger area.
Just put it in there, so you're in a great position. Just put pace on it there.
Vardy ahead of Kilman, trying to turn and run down the right-hand side for Leicester. Kilman still with him. Vardy running out of room, plays it off Kilman for a corner. Wolves on the defensive, 58 minutes played. Traore, now having been greased up, is now trying to put tape over the top of the grease. Grease or baby oil or lard or something, I don't know.
Lard.
Whatever keeps people off him, I guess.
Well, yeah, exactly. If he stops him from grabbing him, I don't care what it is.
Do you like to get baby? No,
no. Don't even go down that road. No, leave it.
Maddison's corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Again, looking to whip it into the edge of the 6-yard box. And it was Johnny Evans who climbed highest, but his header high over the top and behind for a goal kick.
Well, he's trying to say it's another corner, but it's clear that he's headed the ball. Just watching the replay. Oh, yeah. I don't know what he's appealing for. Oh, he's clean-headed it.
So, now, Connor Cody might be getting a yellow card here for maybe a complaint, or he's having a conversation with Anthony Taylor anyway.
He's got his yellow card out. Yeah.
Pedence is off. Adama Traore is on. So Traore will...
Yeah, it just gives you another option. And
the reason I pause there is because Traore's actually gone through the middle with Jimenez to the right and Neto to the left. We'll see if that stays the same. They have swapped over now. Traore gives them options, but Traore up against Fuchs would be an interesting race.
No, it's Justin, isn't it, at the minute, who's out there against him.
It will keep Justin back, you feel, as well.
Yeah, I would think so. I think that now they're going to have to think about...
There is Traore running past Maddison. Now trying to go on the outside of Justin. Took a tumble and the ball will go behind for a goal kick. Traore looking towards the assistant referee for a little bit of help there.
No, so I think he's going down already, isn't he?
It is interesting, though, just how little help from officials Adama Traore does tend to get. I seem to think that because he's such a physical size that he doesn't tend to get the same things, whereas with the speed that he's going, it only needs a little touch and he's over.
That's the problem. So you just need the slightest of touches at the pace that he's doing.
Here's Bolly. Good pass to find Neto midway inside the Leicester half. Albrighton coming across. Neto has managed to flick it wide for Aït-Nouri. And Aït-Nouri scuffed his attempted cross to the edge of the penalty area. And Pratt just launching it downfield. Patricio's come out of his penalty area, but calmly plays it to Kilman. Now here's Ruben Neves to Bolly.
Been in it a little bit better this second half, though, haven't we? So at least we've offered something going forward. I know we still haven't had a major threat on their goal, but we've been a little bit better going in to the second half. Just needs that quality in that top third for me.
Here is Max Kilman. Now to Willy Bolly. To Traore on the right-hand side. Midway inside the Leicester half. Shown in field by Maddison. Plays it backwards to Cody at the base of the centre circle. Cody to Willy Bolly. Bolly looking forwards. Leaves it for Traore again. Maddison shaping up with him. Traore going past him so easily on the outside of him. Continuing to run, getting towards the corner flag, attempted cross, takes the deflection, and there's a corner, and there's the Traore impact.
Yeah, well, that's what you bring him on for, to drag you up the pitch, get you into that top area. It's all about the quality off the set play now, isn't it?
Yeah, Neto left-footed from the right-hand side. Just got to wait for Kilman and Bolly to join Dendoncker and Jimenez in the penalty area. They're the only four in there for Wolves. It's whipped to the near post. Clearance wasn't quite completed, but Leicester should be able to bring it clear, though. Wolves trying to win it back. Dendoncker for Neto. Neto trying to wriggle his way through. He gets the edge of the area, and this time he gets the free kick just outside the box from the challenge of Johnny Evans.
Well, I think that's just persistence and strength there. He's just showing you, isn't he? Because he looked like he'd just lost it for a second there. But his desire to actually get the ball, just use his strength just to get in between there and got the foul.
And Johnny Evans went into the referee's notebook for a yellow card as well.
It's a great position here now. Good position. Be interesting to see. Well, Neves is the one setting it up, I think. Yeah, he'll fancy it. But you got Neto's left foot as well, which is another good option for us.
Ruben Neves. It's been a long old while since he was last on the score sheet. Last league goal came against Aston Villa pretty much a year ago.
I was going to say, we used to be talking about his goals, or his wonder goals, enough every week, weren't we, at one stage?
Neto or Neves? It's Neves to lift it over the wall and high over the top of the crossbar.
No, not one of his best efforts, was it? And you can see the frustration on his face.
So it's been nearly exactly a year since Ruben Neves scored a Premier League goal.
He's tried to place it, hasn't he? A little bit of care with it. He's tried to just place it into the top corner and just got well underneath it.
"23 appearances since his strike against Espanyol in the Europa League as well. So it's been a while for Ruben Neves. Here's Albrighton on the right-hand side for Leicester. Midway inside the Wolves half. 64 minutes played at the King Power Stadium. Much more even second half.
Yeah, it
here.
has been. It has been.
Madison wide to Justin. Up against Semedo. And to come back in field to Maddison. And closed down by Dendoncker. Inviting Fofana into the attack. Out to the right side to Albrighton. Albrighton playing a 1-2 with Pratt. Blocked off by Aït-Nouri. Leicester
Yeah.
corner.
Did better there, didn't he? Did better there. You could see what they're trying to do. He blocked him off initially. Aït-Nouri, so he stopped him from going on that outside of him. He did well to get a block.
Wolves have to stand firm here. Can't afford to go 2 goals down. But they are still in the game at 1-0. And they have to believe that they can keep creating chances.
Well, you'd hope so now with Traore on as well to give him that little bit of firepower.
Maddison, right-footed from the right-hand side again. Whipped into the near post. Away by Jimenez. Justin to his right-hand side to Tielemans. Took one touch, whipped across in, but straight into the arms of the waiting Rui Patricio, who was looking to see if he could get Semedo going, but rolls it to Kilman instead. Neves coming short, 1-2. Kilman infield to Cody. He'll leave it for Neves. Now Connor Cody. In towards the feet of Traore. Has time to turn. Up against Mendy, who's being shown in field. Turns and plays it wide for Semedo. Semedo up against Justin. Little step over. Back in field to Traore midway inside the half. Traore trying to step away from Pratt. And he's kept hold of the ball and he's got a free kick as well. Maybe Anthony Taylor was listening when I said he wasn't getting protection.
No, so it's been more positive, hasn't it, since he's come on? He's put Leicester on the back foot a little bit because they're a little bit wary about him giving that threat beyond them. But I still think that a ball over the top, somebody like him, is still a good ball. I know we want to play everything to feet and we want to see attractive football, but as I said earlier, we've got to just mix it up a little bit.
Neto and Semedo are stood over the ball. One-man wall. It's just ahead of being midway inside the half, out towards the right. About 10 yards in from the touchline, maybe slightly more. Kilman and Bolly are forwards on the edge of the Leicester penalty area. Dendoncker behind them. Semedo will whip the ball in. It's Kilman! No! Offside flag goes up and maybe saves his blushes there. Because 5 yards out, Max Kilman on his strong left foot as well. And he side-footed it over the crossbar. He would have been offside, yeah. That doesn't really take away from the fact that he should have put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, for somebody who's very technical as well, he'd be disappointed with where the ball ended up off his foot. Yeah, he's just fractionally offside, wasn't he?
There's a great ball in, though, by Nelson Semedo.
Yeah, he was.
Just didn't time his run right. Harvey Barnes is being prepared for Leicester, who have made one change already at the break. Kick forwards, the big shout there, I think, was Traore had misjudged it.
Well, I think from there, a goal kick, he shouldn't be bringing that down on his chest, just inside Wolves off from a goal kick.
Mendy across the halfway line to Fofana. Ball in behind that Cody intercepts before it could reach Vardy. Kilman slices his kick. Now to play for a Leicester throw in the Wolves half. We are, 68 minutes into the game. Still Wolves trail by a goal to nil. João Moutinho is going through his paces down in front of us. Whether that's just sending a message to his manager that he's ready, or whether he's been given a bit of a nod to say, get yourself prepped. Your time is coming. Semedo for Wolves, back to Bolly. Infield to Neves. Now time to turn and look downfield, up towards the edge of the centre circle. Left-hand ball to Kilman, to Aït-Nouri, closed down by Albrighton. Back to Kilman. Cody will look to switch the play. I think Traore was going to be offside, so they've allowed Justin to track back and play it back to Schmeichel. "69 minutes played." Not seen the change from Adama Traore make too much of a difference just yet.
No. So, look, for me there again, it's a ball long way from Connor Cody. He should be on his shoulder. There's no way he should be offside. He's got the pace to not be offside.
There's Cody for Bolly. Wolves having a lot more of the ball.
Yeah, they are. They're starting to ask a little bit more, but still nothing major. Oh,
Traore trying to get in behind. Ball was just blocked off before it could go through to him.
I think Fuchs there was able just to get a little touch on it.
Mendy evading both Dendoncker and Neves, and now inviting Dennis Pratt to carry it over the halfway line for Leicester. Out to the right-hand side to Albrighton. Ball infield to Pratt, trying to evade Dendoncker again. Wide for Mark Albrighton. He's lifted ball forwards and intercepted by the head of Kilman. Aït-Nouri cleared. Evans will nod it for Fofana, who's kept it in. Pratt for Albrighton. Trying to again find Vardy, but Cody got across in front of him, but Vardy stealing possession. On the right-hand touchline, Aït-Nouri sliding in. Leicester will get the throw in.
Yeah, did well there, Aït-Nouri.
And it's James Maddison that is being replaced by Harvey Barnes.
I think Marcel's coming on as well. Just got the call, I think.
Well, you would imagine it would be Marcel for Aït-Nouri.
Yeah, a little bit more experienced than this left-hand side, possibly.
He's getting stripped and ready. James Maddison with an incredibly slow walk-off. He's been incredibly slow to go and do anything, really. When he goes to take a corner, it takes him 5 minutes to get there. He's a good player, though.
He is a good player.
Here's Albrighton on the right-hand side. Dangerous cross in. Cody, their first to it to clear. Jimenez trying to control, but lost possession. It's not been his best performance, Raul Jimenez.
He's struggled to get into the game, hasn't he? He has struggled. I know he's coming up against a good player, Evans.
Does raise the question, doesn't it, again, about having a different option to rest him or give him a break in these conditions.
Yeah.
They do have Fabio Silva on the bench, but I think they would risk it. Here's Barnes running forwards. Ball's going to go through for a goal kick. Fabio Silva is out. Well, he was out warming up. He's now been told to go back in because Otazawi and Saiss are joining Martinho. You're only allowed 3 out at any one time. So it is a debate there. When Raul Jimenez is out of form, and it sounds silly to say it really, given the impact he's had already this season, but we keep forgetting that he's played an awful lot of football over the last 2 years. And he will, at some point, have a dip.
Well, like all strikers do, they have a dip, don't they? But say it's for the rest of the team to try and contribute to it as well and help him as well. Just can't get hold of it at the minute. We've had like 5-10 minute spell where we just can't get hold of it. So the game's there for one of the teams just to put pressure on now, for us to get a goal back or for Leicester to get themselves another goal. But we've definitely done better in this second half. We've had a lot more possession. They backed off us a little bit. Maybe that's from the change with Traore coming on.
This is Connor Cody, middle of his own half to Willy Boly. 73 minutes played at the King Power Stadium. Boly for Semedo. Semedo looking to play an early one, looking for the run of Dendoncker. Fuchs is headed to the edge of the box. Jimenez, it nearly came to Neto, and it needed Mark Albrighton tracking back to get there in front of him. It's just not quite been there for Wolves at the key moments.
No, it's just not dropping, is it?
Need a bit of a stroke of fortune, perhaps.
Yeah, well, we need somebody who's willing to just grab the game by the scruff of the neck kind of thing. Traore would be a great example of it. Jimenez, still got time to get something out of it.
Volley for Neves, low across the centre circle to Kilman. Out to the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. Back to Max Kilman again. Now to Connor Cody, looking to his right-hand side, gives it to Willy Boly. Boly out to Traore, midway inside the Leicester half on the right-hand touchline, looking to run at Justin, trying to go past him, a little burst of speed, hanging his cross in. He was just ahead of Dendoncker, and it just evaded Neto too. And Leicester now trying to come forwards on the counter-attack. Real good cross in by Adama Traore. Here comes Harvey Barnes, though, looking to run on the outside of Semedo, down Leicester's left. You know, he'll get support from Mendy.
Yeah, that's where you need a little bit of luck, don't you? So, like, the ball's come across. We've got bodies actually in there, and he just didn't fall to us, did it? It could have gone to one of the three of them. But a great play from Traore on that right-hand side.
Fofana for Pratt. Albrighton. Sliding challenge from Neto intercepted. Neves finds Willy Bolly midway inside the Wolves half. Traore holding off Harvey Barnes up against Mendy. Says, see you later. Plays a 1-2 with Dendoncker. Now looking to switch it to the left-hand side to Neto. Jimenez is calling for it. Neto trying to pick him out. Jimenez back into the danger zone and cleared away by Fuchs. Jimenez first to the loose ball and he'll get Wolves a throw.
Yeah, good balling from Neto. Another change coming on. Yeah, not surprising. Nori going off.
Yeah, Ryan Nori replaced by Marçal. Just a question there, Tomo. Could Jimenez have struck it rather than playing it back in?
I think he was probably a little bit wide. That's what he probably thought. I'm surprised because he's got himself up to strike it. I'm surprised he didn't have a go and try and hit it back across the goal. But you could see what he was trying to do because Dendoncker was probably in a better position in that central area of the goal. Just tried to pick him out.
Pedro Neto. Back to Max Kilman, to Connor Cody. Feels like a different game now.
Yeah, it does. I think that we're offering a little bit more positive play in our game. So since Traore's come on, he's been a little bit, he has been positive.
Traore infield to Semedo. Semedo to Neves, who scoops it high first time out to the left-hand side to Neto, 10 yards from the corner flag. Neto onto his right foot, now back onto his left, trying to go past Albrighton, lifts his cross in. Header from Fuchs goes high into the air. It'll come out to Traore, pulls it back to Semedo, trying to tee it up for Neves. Oh, what a hit and what a save by Kasper Schmeichel. Flying high to his left-hand side, somehow denying Ruben Neves. What a hit and what a stop.
It's better pressure, isn't it? Just watching it here, tried to play, he was going in. Oh, his opposite hand as well, Schmeichel, good save.
Reminiscent of Ruben Neves' goal against Aston Villa pretty much a year ago.
Oh.
Fabio Silva is stripped and ready to come on. In the meantime, Wolves have a corner. Neto, left-footed from the right-hand side, hanging it high. Kilman tried to get there. It wouldn't quite fall for Jimenez, and Fofana puts his foot through it. Anywhere will do at the moment for Leicester. We're hearing it's Neto who will be replaced. Cross comes in deep. It's goalwards and it's wide from Leander Dendoncker.
What a chance. What a chance. I think if he's on target there, he's scoring. Great ball from Neves.
Brilliant deep cross. Spotting the run of Leander Dendoncker, who opened out his right foot and maybe just didn't make the connection that he needed.
No, he didn't. He's like hit across it a little bit more, hasn't he? But great save. We've seen the goal save again from Schmeichel.
So Fabio Silva is nearly ready to come on. Final instructions from Nuno. Kasper Schmeichel has kept his team in front with 12 minutes to play. Wolves are getting closer. And they are about to bring on another forward. It is Pedro Neto who comes off. And I wonder, Tomo, do they go two up top with Traore free to go where he wants? Or?
Yeah, I would just go with two strikers up there, Jimenez, okay, with him as well, and just play Traore just, like I said, anywhere. He'll probably want to hug that right touch line, but for me, just let them go.
Fabio Silva still waiting for his first Wolves goal. He hasn't had too many minutes to try and find it. It would be something special if he could produce it here.
Yeah, I think it'd be welcome as well, I think.
And Wes Morgan is going to come on.
Well, they're going to tighten things up in their midfield.
Dennis Pratt coming off.
Sacrifice a midfield player for another defender.
So it looks like maybe Fuchs will go to left wing back. Johnny Evans will move across and Morgan will go into the centre of the back three.
You'd think so.
Quite where Justin now plays is the other question.
Well, he's probably just pushing to midfield a little bit more. You can see he's gone more advanced. He's up against Semedo.
Third position of the game for James Justin. The ball went towards him, but over the top and all the way through for a goal kick. Just about 10 minutes, plus time to be added on.
Well, at least it's been a little bit more encouraging from on the play. It just hasn't fell from them. So look, a little bit more luck, and they could have had a goal or two. Just hasn't fallen from them in this second half yet. But you've got to keep playing. You've got to keep knocking on the door of it.
Jimenez back to Bolly, just inside his own half. To Jimenez again. Trying to look for some options ahead of him.
Just need a
one
runner,
of which is Fabio Silva, who was caught late by Wesley Fofana, who will get a yellow card.
Yeah, he was just a fraction late, wasn't he? Just tried to nick it, Fofana.
A Wolves free kick, just short of being midway inside the Leicester half. Ruben Neves stood over the ball. They've got Bolly, Fabio Silva, Dendoncker, Kilman and Jimenez all stretched across the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Neves to try and lift it, looking for Fabio Silva. Header away, will be picked up by Bolly on the right-hand side. Bolly has lost out to Fuchs. And Mendy trying to bring it forward. Semedo across there strongly. And Wolves will get the throw.
Yeah, I think he's going to book somebody by the look of it, or he wants to talk to somebody.
I think it's just Johnny Evans took a tumble and is looking a bit groggy. And Anthony Taylor just checking that he's okay as he challenged with Fabio Silva. He just got a bit of an arm in the back. Another Wolves throw down the right-hand side. Semedo with the ball in hand. 81.5 minutes played at the King Power. Semedo has got Traore just in front of him. Thrown towards Fabio Silva, who flicked it on, but there was no one there. Morgan clears. Vardy. Tillemans. Trying to find Justin up against Semedo, getting the better of him as well. Justin driving forwards down the left-hand side. Infield to Barnes to seal it, and he puts it over the top of the crossbar. There was a touch in there, maybe by Max Kilman, that saves Wolves from going 2-0 down.
Yeah, so just watching the replay again. Justin down this left-hand side, driving forward, picked out Barnes. Yeah, I think it was just Kilman just come across, spread himself.
It is Max Kilman. Vital little interception there.
Yeah, just come off his hip by the look of it. Did well to get across, just to put someone on it.
82.5 minutes played. Tillemans with the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Looks to whip it into the danger zone. Headed away by Cody. Struck by Fuchs, takes a big deflection. And it came off a
Evans.
Leicester man.
Yeah, Johnny Evans. I think it was.
Johnny Evans has been in the wars.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job. It's a good job we did hit him. Because I tell you what, Fuchs really hit it well. When it's come out, I think it was on target as well. Yeah.
Oh, it might have been. Well,
I think it was on target there. Patricio coming across.
Poor Johnny Evans.
I was going to say, on his head, wasn't he? Took the full brunt of it.
Yeah. Went down like he'd taken a punch from a heavyweight boxer.
I'm not surprised you say Fuchs really hit it well.
Traore challenging. Ball is with Neves. To the left-hand side to Marçal. There's a Leicester player down, so they'll stop the play. It's Fuchs.
I think he's just using
experience. Worse for wear.
I think he's using experience there.
83.5 minutes played. Richard in South Africa is having a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot, waiting for a goal from Wolves. They're trying hard. Tomo's less than impressed, having seen the replay.
No, it's not like a good header from Traore. I don't think there's much in it. I think he's just killing the game off a little bit.
Well, a drop ball will be given to Wolves.
Well, he's limping, but say he was ahead of what he went up for. So just unless he's fallen funny. Yeah, but he seems to be moving fine now. His limp's gone.
Bolly to Neves, to Kilman over halfway. Last 6 minutes of the 90. Wolves searching for an equaliser. Cody for Traore. Two players around him. Back to Cody. Now Neves. Left-hand side of the centre circle. Out wide to Marçal. Back to Kilman. We can just set it down the line. Marçal making a run in behind. Fofana trying to recover. They went shoulder to shoulder. Marçal still has the ball after both players went down. And it's a Wolves throw down by the corner flag.
Yeah, well, there's that ball over the top. Just get him turned. Just get him, push onto him. Marcel did well there. Finally going to ground with him.
Marcel throwing to Dendoncker. Back to Marcel. On his right foot, trying to get it onto his left. Up against Albrighton. Tried just to shift it and shape it. It was blocked by Albrighton.
He didn't want to come on his right, did he? Marcel.
Jimenez coming short. Dendoncker also short. Fabio Silva waits in the penalty area. Jimenez back to Marcel, to Dendoncker. Back to Marcel again. Tried a back heel, blocked off by Albrighton. Barnes to Albrighton. Marcel sliding in. Ball is at Leicester's throw.
Oh, I thought that was a Wolves, that. I think he slid in there, Marcel. Come off the Leicester player.
Neves is playing ball boy to try and get Leicester to speed it up.
Oh, they're in now, rush, are they? They've picked the ball up twice.
Well, Neves gave it to Barnes, who let it drop and go past. Then Neves picked it up and gave it to Albrighton, who picked it up and then put it back on the floor. 4 minutes still remain. Is there to be late drama at the King Power?
How long did they take in? They must have took 2 minutes to set the throw in.
Dendoncker's header clear. Morgan back into the Wolves half. Justin looking wide. Marcel headed it to Neves, who cleverly played it early for Semedo, who can bring it over the halfway line down the Wolves right to Fabio Silva, wide to Traore. Traore against Fuchs. Ball goes infield to Semedo. Now to Willy Bolly. Back again to Semedo. Traore down the line. Plenty of gold shirts in front of him, one of which was Fabio Silva, who helped it round the corner, but to no one in particular. And Justin trying to bring it clear for Leicester. 3.5 minutes to play. Traore putting pressure on. Fuchs back to Schmeichel. His big kick downfield. Bolly heading it forwards. Fabio Silva stretching, can't get it. Leicester throw.
Yeah. So like again, sound like they've had a little bit more possession in this second half. Just got to keep going. Just got to keep going. You would think there's going to be a bit of injury time, probably 5 minutes. So he's still got 11 minutes left of the game, or 8 minutes now. Sorry.
Less than 3 minutes to play. Leicester 1, Wolves 0. Bolly's header forwards. Time for Jimenez to bring it down in the centre circle. Gets a free kick. Barnes stood over the ball. Neves wrestling with him. Gives it to Bolly. Now Semedo. He's got Dendoncker coming short. Plays it backwards to Cody. First time to Kilman. Over halfway. Neves is with him. Neves back infield to the centre circle to Cody. Everybody, bar Patricio, is now in the Leicester half. Bolly. Cody. Kilman. Marcel's out on the left-hand side. Here he is now, up against Albrighton. Marcel to Neves, to Kilman. Infield to Cody again. Now to Willy Bolly, midway inside the Leicester half. Bolly carrying it forwards, trying to lift it into the danger zone. Fabio Silva got his head to it, but heads it over the top of the crossbar. And now it's Raul Jimenez's turn to race to go and get the loose ball.
Well, they're in now, rush, are they? So they're taking the time with absolutely everything in this second half.
Well, Kasper Schmeichel has now decided he wanted the original ball. And I think Wolves are asking the question here, saying, come on.
And then he walks across to the far side of the goal.
90 seconds remaining, plus time to be added on, of which we are hearing there is going to be 5 minutes. Wolves behind to a Jamie Vardy penalty. Rui Patricio saved a second Vardy penalty in the first half. Kasper Schmeichel pulling off a stunning stop to deny Ruben Neves, Wolves' best chance of the game so far. Leicester will be going top of the Premier League table as things stand. Wolves will be in 8th place.
It's been a better second half, though, hasn't it? It's been better second half performance from him.
Jimenez couldn't quite find Dendoncker. Ball is cleared up to Vardy. He's got Barnes to his right. Here is Harvey Barnes. Then closed down by Kilman. Waits for support to arrive from Albrighton. Fabio Silva trying to close in. Mendy back to Albrighton. Back to Mendy. Neves at his back. Barnes flicking it in field, getting it back from Albrighton. Marcel with a foot in, but he's right back by his own corner flag. And he ends up playing it off the Leicester man for a Wolves goal kick, but they've got to get downfield with 15 seconds of the 90 remaining.
Yeah, the four officials are just about to hold up the board, I think. As we've said, 5 minutes, I think it is, we're going to have on. Can they get a chance? Got to try and be a little bit positive now. Can we get up to the top end of the field?
Confirmation of 5 minutes being added on.
Well, we haven't got Traore on the ball for a while. Let's try and get him in because he did well initially when he come on. So he's caused a few problems with his runs.
Dendoncker to Semedo. Having to lift it infield to Cody, just short of the centre circle. Over halfway to Kilman. Jimenez has come short. Here is Raul Jimenez looking back infield. Now we'll switch the play to Semedo and feed it out to the feet of Traore. One-on-one with Justin. Fuchs going out there to try and help out. Traore looking back infield, now twisting and turning again, going past them again, now cutting back infield, left-footed cross, will sweep into the far post, or Brighton's header out. Neves trying to head it forwards. Jimenez will get to the loose ball, turned into Albrighton, who takes a tumble, and Leicester get the free kick.
Oh, he's got to play where he's facing there, hasn't he, Jimenez? I'm sure he's frustrated about the opportunities that he's had in this game, and it just hasn't fell for him, but
just set it back to Marcel.
Marcel's on there, just sets it back. Because they'll take another 2 minutes taking this, because I'm sure that Schmeichel will pick the ball up, place it again as he is. There you go.
Wipes away a couple of blades of grass.
Be there all day.
Played nearly 90 seconds of the 5 minutes being added on. Still Leicester 1, Wolves 0, as it's been since the 15th minute of the game. Well, Brighton's header to Tielemans, lifted forwards. Vardy's header will go out of play. Wolves, though, are deep inside their own half.
Yeah, well, we're in a place that we don't want to be. We don't want to be this far, this deep.
Marcel to Kilman, trying to put his foot through it, but there's nobody there. I'm not sure who that's aimed at.
Well, Jimenez and Pablo Silva have come deep. He's got to keep somebody up there.
Vardy with a flick on. Kilman forced back by Barnes. Gives it to Patricio, who clears it first time. Neves just beaten to it by Tielemans, who is taken out of the game by Max Kilman.
Yeah, so I'd like to see Fabio Silva just stay in that central position. You've seen Jimenez here dropping a little bit deeper.
Yellow card for Kilman.
Yeah.
Wolves didn't have a single yellow card in the 2 previous games. They've picked up a couple here today.
Well, if anything, what Leicester have been like on taking anything, set plays, the final whistle will go by the time they take this one.
Tielemans and Albrighton out on the right-hand touchline. Albrighton just pokes it short to Tielemans. We have about 2 minutes of the time added on still to play. Is there enough time for Wolves to craft one last opportunity? Barnes, Leicester trying to seal it. Cody intercepts the ball meant for Vardy. Dendoncker for Semedo. He's got Fabio Silva ahead of him. Bolly infield. Here is Willy Bolly. Into the centre circle for Neves. Looking to the left-hand side to Marcel. Jimenez is ahead of him down the left-hand side. Raul Jimenez looking back infield. Sweeping the play to Willy Bolly, who will let it go all the way through to Semedo. Semedo back to Willy Bolly again. He's got Neves coming short. Neves 30 yards from goal. He feeds it out to the feet of Marcel. One-touch cross. It rather hits the chest of Raul Jimenez, who was inside the penalty area, and Albrighton just puts his foot through it to clear.
Yeah, so like just Fabio Silva just stay in that central position. If Jimenez is coming out onto this left-hand side.
We have 1 minute and 10 seconds to play. Marcel's throw to Neves. Loops it towards Semedo on the inside right, midway inside the Leicester half. Wide to Traore on the touchline. Up against Justin again. He plays it infield to Semedo this time. Into the final minute of the 5 minutes being added on. It's Willy Bolly. Nelson Semedo, midway inside the half, looking to cross from deep. Fabio Silva couldn't get there. Johnny Evans header away. Barnes with a second header. Drops to Bolly. Bolly showed a bit too much of it to Tielemans, and the ball is cleared and spinning into the Wolves half, and it will be a Leicester throw. And with 30 seconds left to play and no Leicester player within 10, 15 yards, that might well be that.
And still not. It's unlike Bolly as well, isn't it, with his touch?
Well, his first touch to control it was superb. His second touch
Yeah, it
went
was
too
a tackle.
far ahead of him.
Yeah, it was a tackle, wasn't it? Yes.
All Brighton with the throw. 10 yards inside the Wolves half. Still not taking it. Eventually throws it down the line. Header away by Marçal. Neves has it, infield to Bolly. We're in added time. Fabio Silva on. Marçal is racing down the left-hand side. He's going to play it in early, and it's straight into the arms of Kasper Schmeichel. And that will be that, you feel.
Yeah. It's a great ball from Fabio Silva down this left-hand side. But he just couldn't get his foot around it, could he? Marçal. Yes. Yeah, Schmeichel's not going to be in any rush at all, is he?
Big kick downfield, final whistle. Wolves are beaten in the Midlands derby. East overcomes West. Jamie Vardy's penalty in the first half. The difference between the two teams after a debatable VAR call against Max Kilman for a handball. Ryan Aït-Nouri gave away a second penalty in that first half that Vardy stepped up again, but was denied by Rui Patricio. And in the tale of goalkeepers, Kasper Schmeichel pulled off the save of the game to deny Ruben Neves what would have been his first Premier League goal in nearly a year. Wolves just didn't quite have enough in that second half to get back in and take something from this match. It finished Leicester 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, so like better play from Wolves in the second half. So a couple of opportunities. Great save from Schmeichel with the save off Neves. But you look throughout the game, so look, I know Leicester had the better of the first half, had a lot of possession, looked sharp, never really threatened the goal, apart from the two penalties where, again, the first one I thought was a bit harsh, second one you thought it was, but good save from Patricio. But they got to offer more within the 90 minutes. I think Neves is still having a discussion with the referee over something. But they've got to offer more. They can't wait for that second half to come. They've got to go out there. They played the best they did last week against Crystal Palace. But they'll be disappointed, and you can see the players. Jimenez just throwing down one of his strappings there to the floor.
Well, Rui Barbosa, the goalkeeper coach, and Rui Pedro Silva all out there around the officials, and Neves now having to move away. Clear frustration from Wolves. Rui Barbosa still in conversation with Anthony Taylor. We'll take a very short break and we'll get the thoughts of Andy Thompson, Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV, powered by Blythe Group. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app. Wolves TV, Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
This season, the Old Gold Club and Wolves TV Matchday Live are powered by Blythe Group, an industry-leading construction company and family-run business since 1982, driving investment and infrastructure across the UK. Blythe Group's mission is to provide an unrivaled service based on innovative, bespoke building solutions and comprehensive customer support. If you're a skilled tradesperson and you want to join the team that powers our team, contact their bases in Wolverhampton, Manchester or Maidenhead via theblythegroup.co.uk. Blythe Group, big enough to deliver, small enough to care.
Wolves TV Matchday Live, powered by Blythe Group.
So let's assess then what we have seen at the King Power here this afternoon, joined again by Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme. Keems, I'll come to you first. This time, what did you make of that second half? Did you see enough of an improvement that we were calling for at half-time?
I think, yeah, it was definitely a better second half. We started to move the ball a lot better. Traore coming into it as well. Looked dangerous. But I can't say we deserved the victory at the same time. I think Leicester probably edged it. We probably didn't create enough opportunities, in all honesty, to say we should have won the game. And yeah, I think it's on to the next. I think it was disappointing first half, but we definitely did get a reaction.
Well, you look at it, you see Leicester edged it. They won with a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty. The second half was very 50-50, chances, whatever. Leicester are top of the table. At the minute, they're sitting first in the league. And that just shows you, the small margins in the game. And it's, like you say, the Neves, it's one of those, Schmeichel, what a save that is. There's little positives you can take out, but you know what? Nowhere near it. Tomo said it there. We can't wait until the second half to actually show. If we started like that, we'd probably take a point, which is, you know what? It's not a bad result. But Leicester are top of the table, sitting first in the Premier League now after that result. So it just shows you. I'm sitting here, I'm gutted because, like you say, it was an outstanding performance, and you just want to carry it on, consistency.
Let me run you through some of the stats here. First half, Wolves had 46% possession, only the one shot, and it was blocked, so nothing on target, and one corner. Second half, 56% possession, 6 shots, 2 on target, 4 off target, 2 corners. We could probably say Kasper Schmeichel has made the save of the game. Leicester, in terms of the second half, had 7 shots, but only 1 on target. Tomo just said to me off air, didn't really feel like, Leicester really, apart from maybe the Harvey Barnes one that Max Kilman got a really good block on it. And by the way, Kasper Schmeichel has been interviewed straight away by the TV, which kind of tells you some of the story maybe as to the way that they've looked at it, that save is the difference in the game, is it not?
Mikey, that's the goalkeeper's job. That's what they're there to do, to make saves. So don't. Now we are clutching at straws. You know what? It says but Keems, that's what I'm saying. You pull out a worldly save. That's your job. You know what I mean? You give yourself a wee pat in the back. You look at it, but that's it. That's job done.
I think what Looms is trying to say is an incredible save. We all know that, but he's not being interviewed because he made save after save and he kept Leicester in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what I mean. I don't think any of us could really argue to say that Wolves deserved. They might have deserved a draw second half, possibly, but I don't think any of us are really making a massive argument for it. We didn't make clear-cut chances. I think
it's not about what they deserve. If that penalty's not given, it's a draw. That's what I'm saying. It's decisions. The officials can affect matches. The penalty should not have been given. It's look at Leeds. Leeds could have been out of sight the first 45 minutes, but they weren't because we ground it out. And then you know what? We get the goal and it's job done.
I totally agree. I think it's what our vibe is, and that we wasn't good first half. I think it is performance, and I suppose I think that's what the Wolves officials are arguing about now. The thing that decided the game was the penalty decision in the end, and it was wrong. And I think that's a massive talking point. It's an important talking point, and it's something you can go past. You can kind of move past because Wolves were that poor in the first half. But the second penalty, Rui saved it, and at the end of the day, that cost Wolves the game. That penalty decision cost Wolves the game in the end.
Okay, why were they not? Liams, I'll come to you in a second. Why were they not as good as we've come to expect them in the first half? And did they do enough second half? It sounds like Keems is suggesting maybe not, to have got something from this game.
Why you think about it? So I think you have to focus on the opposition when you come into any match. More so, you think, right, okay, we know what we're about. We know what we're going to go out and deliver. And I just felt that we allowed Leicester to dominate the match. We never got in their faces. We weren't on the high press, the high block straight away. There wasn't really a tempo to our play without the ball, because that's where it starts. If Leicester are going to have the ball, we've got to be chasing it. We've got to be chasing it as a unit, packed together. And then once we get it, then we can play our game. I just felt it was about nullifying Leicester. Let's stop Leicester from playing. Let's not just play our game. You know what I mean? And like you say, very passive. There was some passive moments that you're thinking, just go in and make the challenge, or just go in and make that pass, or so. And you understand why Leicester are. You're probably thinking a top 4 team. You know, they're a big team, but that's where we want to be this season more than any other season. Because if we look at the results for other teams already, the results are all over the place. Any team can go and really surpass all expectation this year, because results, you can't really put money on it. You know what I mean? Because anything can happen.
Well, you touched on it, Looms, there. So they're top of the league now. And so for me, watching the game, okay, Leicester had quite a lot of possession first half. We had the more so in the second half. There wasn't that much between them because neither of them had really created chance after chance. So they've had the 2 penalties that they were given. The first one, what's won the game eventually, I don't think it was. So you can see why it was given. But for me, there's not much between what we can do and what Leicester can do.
Small margins, Tom.
It is.
I agree. I think Leicester are slightly in front of us. In all honesty, I think they've won the Premier League. They've been in the Premier League for a long time. They're a good side. They're the top of the league. That's how good they are. And I think it's kind of a next step for Wolves, in all honesty, of becoming competitive on Leicester's level as well. And I think we're close to there, if not there. And like I said, it was a tight game. I just think from the first half performance, I think we were poor first half, and I know we were better second half, but Leicester didn't look disjointed at any stage at all.
So did they show them too much respect?
Yeah, I think so. I think that you've got to take the game to them. You can't just let them keep coming on to you. And so when we won the ball, we did really well to win the ball back. But within seconds, we've given it straight back to Leicester. And I just think that we weren't good enough on the ball first half. We weren't sharp enough. I think options needed to be looked at as well when we did have the ball in the first half. Second half, totally different game.
Yeah, and I think
we spoke about it beforehand. Yeah. We spoke about it. We've said they've played on Thursday. Yeah. We've had a rest. Let's play with high intensity. And you know what? Let them tire, and then we'll capitalise on that. We allowed them to dictate the tempo of the match. And okay, we huffed and puffed second half. But if you're already a goal behind, and that can be the difference. I'm just saying, it's like Tom said there, start like a house on fire. Say, look, this is our tempo. And if when players start to taper out, you make the changes. But we never even took that game to them. And that's a disappointing thing. We just want to consistently get us. If the passes are off, if the quality isn't there, at least we can run after the ball. We can go and press high. That's the easiest part of the game.
I've said on the commentary as well. Sorry, Keeves, but on the commentary as well. Sometimes, okay, we want to play the ball. We want to play pretty football, but just put the ball over the back line. So get them chasing. After we got pace up front, just mix it up a little bit, because everything that we did was just in front of them, especially in the first half, and it was too slow.
Yeah, I think also, like we've all said, I think it wasn't necessarily tactical as well. First half, it was that extra yard, that bit of urgency, that first pass out, the decision making. I think that's not down to Nuno. We have to take responsibility as players. We've all been there where you're not quite at it, and you need to get to half time, and I'm sure Nuno's lost his temper at half time, and I think a few players would lose their temper with each other, and they're all in the same boat, because we've all been there. And it's not to slag the players off that are playing today. We've all been there. We've all been as bad as each other, and we know that. And it takes a few to maybe dig someone out. Nuno to start saying, "Come on, this isn't good enough," to get a reaction. It seemed like it took Rui to save the penalty to get that reaction, and it's disappointing, because sometimes there's no actual reason behind the flat lag in the first half, and you are looking for answers at times, and sometimes they're just not there. It's just that everyone has to take individual responsibility and say we weren't good in the first half.
Boys, going forwards, in the attacking sense, the one criticism that I've had for quite a while, and Tomo will know this because I bring it up a lot, is shooting when they get in and around the penalty area. Against Palace, we saw Dendoncker do it and hit the top of the crossbar. Semedo had a go. They looked a real threat doing it. For large periods today, until the Neves effort that draws the really good save from Schmeichel, it just feels like, for instance, and Looms, you'll have a great view on this, that the cross that comes in from Neto to Jimenez, where the instinct is to just play it back in where they've got 3 defenders. And I know it would be an incredible world ever type goal, does it come off? But sometimes it's almost like they don't give themselves a chance to score these goals because they're so keen to tee it up. There was the one that Tomo was raging about in commentary where the cross comes into Podence, and instead of getting out of the way and letting Neto strike it, they're trying to tee it up for somebody else. Somebody hit the ball.
Yeah, no, and that's what Keems has touched on there, just decision making. It's just switching on, being selfish, being that one that says, you know what, I'm going to get the goal. But we can't compliment them one week on being such a fantastic team and thinking, setting up, and then come for them the next week when it doesn't work, because that's the philosophy. It's about, you know what, if a player's in a better position, can we set them up? And that's the way that Wolves have done it now for the last couple of seasons. But every now and again, you just want that. Have a gamble.
Yeah.
Get the shot away. You just never know. It comes off. It takes a little deflection, and it's in the back of the net. And straight away, the onus is on us to go and get the 3 points. But again, that's something that Nuno's challenged them with, because he knows, like you say, if you're seeing it, Nuno's seeing it. He's challenged the group of players. We want more goals from you. You know what I mean? So again, it's a difficult one, because I've been in that position. I've been in a position where I've had to hammer Silv when he should have said it for Kites away at Palace. And I've hammered Kites. Silv has took the shot on, but at 100%, if he's just squared it in, Kites has put it in the back of the net, and I've hammered him. And then straight away, he's acknowledged it. But that's what made Silv, because he took the chance on, and on another day, he puts it in the back of the net. There's nothing said about it. You understand? So we can't come for them one week and then come for them for the opposite.
But I guess the point is that, and I made this point to Tomo in commentary, Keems, that Raul Jimenez had a bit of an off day for him, for the standards that he has set himself. And at some point, they've got to start helping him out by not constantly relying on him. And if that means that they have to shoot more from other positions, then they're going to have to start doing it, because they can't just rely on Raul to be a 9 out of 10 every week.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you on that one. I think Raul's been coming off the line out onto the wings a lot more than he was last season as well. And I think you can see he's getting frustrated. He's not really in the game at sometimes, and I think that must be frustrating for him at times as well, because especially first half, you've seen him dropping, and in the second half, he's dropping off to the left to try and get involved in the play. And I think he definitely does need help. And I think it was an off day for Potence as well. And Neto wasn't quite at it as well. So I think it was an off day for the front three. And I was glad to see Traore on as well. I think it's important. I said it last week, and I do really feel like we need to get him up to speed now, because we can't rely on Neto and Potence to keep playing well week in, week out. It just doesn't happen. For strikers, it doesn't happen. And I think that's why it's important to have that mix, so we can mix it up a little bit. I know Nuno, it would have been hard to change the side because we've won the last couple of games, but I kind of do feel it is time to get Traore, and I think he does bring something new to us, and I think it's important to get that rotation. And I think it helps Jimenez as well, Traore, because Jimenez isn't going to drop out to wide when he knows Traore's on the ball. He's going to be in between the sticks. And I think that's the problem at the minute. I think he's getting dragged into areas where I don't think he's as effective.
Well, you touched on there about him being frustrating. You could see throughout the game, because the ball wasn't coming from him. It wasn't happening for him. He was getting deeper and deeper. Fabio Silva started to do the same. And so, look, you're looking, we've got the ball at the back, and we've got our two centre forwards, like in our midfield area. Just have a gamble stand up there. And look, and I know he wants to help the team up. I know he wants to work hard, and he's frustrated about not having opportunities on goal. But sometimes you've got to have the confidence as a player just to tell him to go up there, stand on the forward line.
I suppose Looms would be able to answer this a bit more.
Yeah.
Is it normal if you're not involved in the game, or you're not getting chances as well, to feel that you just have to get involved?
Well, it is. You want a touch of the ball. You know, if I've got to see Leicester kind of nullified Jimenez very well today. It was that they had a deep line, but when they could play, he always had someone on him. You know, so what does a good player do? He will drop deep. You know what I mean? And that's when he doesn't always have to be the point man. But as a player, the defensive side, he does work very hard without the ball. But like you say, you could see the frustration in Jimenez today. He was nowhere seeing the ball when we had opportunities to put the ball in the box. We never done it. We're overplaying when we get into that attacking third. He just wants service. And like I say, if you give him the service, he's shown what he can do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, boys, we are just about finished from here at the King Power Stadium. I just want to give a little bit of positivity to end it all off. In the first batch of 8 games of the season, and Wolves have won 4, drawn 1, lost 3. That's not a bad... You know, we should remember that it's the best start to a top-flight season since 1979. We're disappointed today, and it shows how far maybe we are disappointed.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. I know we're disappointed about probably the first half performance, and disappointed that we lost the game. We're naturally going to be disappointed. We all want Wolves to win, and we're all like Wolves fans and Wolves people, aren't we? So we're obviously going to be disappointed. But I don't think any of us are getting carried away or in the dumps and saying that we need to do this and we need to do that. We're just giving suggestions of what possibly might be Nuno's thoughts going into the next game. But it's not panicking. We're doing brilliant. We've like you said, we started the season well, and we could have got a draw today. We could have against a good Leicester side. So it's not a bad result at all. It's just another one. It's do you lose or do you learn? And I think Wolves have definitely learned today rather than just lost.
And to make matters worse for Chris Iwelumo, I mean, there was someone who predicted a 1-0 scoreline today.
You're not having that.
You're not having that.
Mate, you are scraping.
That's low. That's low in your standards, Mikey.
He's not having it.
Let's just get a judge's ruling from Yanni, our producer. No, he's wagging the finger and saying he's not having it.
He's wagging the finger, is he? I know what finger. Let's put it that way.
It's not that one, mate.
And nothing more. So it remains, Mikey, 4 pundits 0. We'll get back to that when we return, of course, because we've got the international break, and then we're back with Southampton on November the 21st. Thank you very much, Carl Ikeme, Chris Iwelumo and Andy Thompson. We will all see you after that international break. It wasn't quite to be today as far as Wolves are concerned, but it's still been the best start to a top flight season since 1979, and there are still plenty more games to come. Whatever you're doing, look after yourselves. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.